Hello, everyone, and welcome. So today I have the honor of being joined by Tristan and I's boyfriend Christian. So yes, Tristan and Christian, which my mother can never tell which one I say when I say one of them.
It's
Then
fine.
she always responds with C or T. Anyway, so here's C joining me today on the stream. Christian is relatively new to solving Sudoku of various adventures, but he's joined Tristan on a couple streams. He does the New York Times hard Sudoku puzzle every day and does very well at that. But he's learning the variant stuff. But he is visiting for the holidays, which is wonderful to have him. We are here to continue the Sortadoku challenge. So he has been warned that he's been thrown completely into the deep end here because today we're doing puzzles from a challenge where I asked people to set puzzles which violate the normal rules of Sudoku. So we're going to violate some normal rules of Sudoku and figure these things out. Yes, he gets the magic
I do
curtain,
get the magic.
indeed. Uh,
I chased Triss out and stole his spot.
I should also say that I made a new puzzle and I posted it for testing. It's had a couple tests so far. It'll be posted on LMD shortly, I suspect. I'm very happy with this one, so I hope that you all enjoy it when it comes out. It may, based on feedback, be harder than I thought it was when I made it, as is not too terribly uncommon. But anyway, so you can look forward to that. Now, hilariously, I posted it, and Glum Hippo basically messaged and was like, "Oh, cool, you made a sequel to one of your earlier puzzles." And my response was, "I never made a puzzle with this rule set. I was actually kind of surprised that I didn't." And then Glum Hippo linked me to the puzzle that I set with this exact rule set 2 years ago. In fact, we're only a few puzzles away from it in our continued going through my old puzzles. In fact, I made a puzzle that was so good I completely forgot that it existed. So we can really look forward to that one when we get there. But it was one that I set that did not make the bar for making it to LMD. We'll see what happens when we actually get there. Uh, Alrighty. Yeah, Paulfly and Ranks have been sort of collab solving it over on the zetamath Discord. Which, by the way, if you're not on the zetamath Discord, it is fun. There's lots of neat posts. I think, at least, we got to learn a lot about the backstory of Zack earlier. So if you've been curious more about that, that's been discussed at some more length over on the Discord. Uh, all right. I think what Paulfly, by the way, Paulfly asks if the step that they came up with is important or it's a weird coincidence. I think it's connected to the important thing, uh, but it's not how I would say it, but it's close. So I think if you think about it, I think you'll get there. All right, so let's go over the rules to this. Oh yes, so Tristan is telling me to shut up and let you talk, so that he can adjust your audio.
Oh, I mean, I was talking a little bit, but I guess not in any meaningful manner. Sorry, Triss. Is it working now?
Can
Buzz
you?
chat's delayed. Uh-oh.
Christian is quiet. Do I
I'm
need to
always
make
quiet.
Tristan less quiet, or does Tristan need to make Christian less quiet? I am not sure.
See, it's a bit quiet.
Yes, you will forever be C, I suppose. Now for the whole
Been cursed.
thing.
Is
Uh,
there something I do over
To
here?
do here.
okay, let's see.
Okay.
Tristan is going to fix it with his magical powers. I think, maybe. Uh,
Oh, I'm a mumbler. I'm always quiet, but that's why Triss has to do work.
let's see. Okay, so how about now? Let's try having Christian talk now.
Yeah, I can try talking more. Said those at the same time. Rules are both the Renban, region sublines, and then it seems like not every cell in this puzzle is going to have a digit, which is exciting.
It's less work for us, right?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I think Sarah's saying I'm loud now.
I think Sarah is suggesting that you could torture Tristan by not saying anything. That is my interpretation. Uh,
Okay,
Laura
that
says
sounds
you're
more
still
like Sarah.
quiet. Uh, Sarah is a big Tristan fan, so I like Sarah a lot because I am also a big Tristan fan. As
Oh, that's
noted.
we type.
Yes. Okay. Ron says
Very
it's good.
90s.
Okay. Sarah says it's good. We at least have two people who think we're getting somewhere. Uh,
Cool.
okay. So let me start by explaining how Renban and region sumlines normally work, and then we'll get to the Sortadoku part. Renban means serial number in Japanese, and so what it means is numbers in order, which is slightly misleading because they don't have to go in order, but they have to be a consecutive sequence. So, for example, you can fill in 4, 5, 6. It's a string of consecutive digits. It's just not in order. That's a fair fill for a normal Renban, but you can't do 4, 5, 7 because you're missing the 6. Nor can you do 4, 4, 5 because now we've got multiple 4s and we can't do that. So that's how normal purple lines work. And the way region sum lines normally work is that you sort of highlight the cells in each box they pass through. So this line I've highlighted in orange the box 2 cells, in yellow the box 4 cells, and in green the box 6 cells. And the point is that the orange cells have to have the same sum as the yellow cells have to have the same sum as the green cells. So that's how these sort of light blue lines work. They're region sum lines.
Makes sense.
Okay, but we have the Sortadoku part, of course, which is that we need to fill some cells in the grid with digits such that digits do not repeat within a house, which then parenthetically says row, column, or region. And each house contains all the digits 1 through n, where n is to be determined for each house. So, for example, it sounds to me like if every cell in row 1 contains a digit, those digits are 1 through 6. But if only 3 cells in row 2 contain digits, those digits have to be 1, 2, 3. So,
okay, I missed that.
Awesome. And likewise, the same is true for boxes, and the same is true for columns. So we don't get to put a 6 in the puzzle without putting a digit in every single cell in that 6's row, column, and box. Is okay. my reading of that sentence.
That makes sense.
Each clue must pass through at least one digit. As a consequence, a region sum line must pass through at least one digit in each region. So otherwise you could just say nothing is equal to the sum of nothing is equal to the sum of nothing. So we need at least one digit on each clue. Okay, so I'm going to use my light gray to indicate cells that definitely contain a digit, I believe, and I will use dark black to indicate cells which do not contain a digit, I think. And so Christian was noting before, this cell definitely contains a digit.
5, 4, and 5, 6.
And these two
along
also
with 5, 2, and 4, 1.
Definitely contain digits. That one too. Yeah, I missed that one. You're right. And in fact, these two both need to contain digits. Because if either of these didn't contain a digit, like just imagine that this was black and this was gray, these would be the same digit.
Yeah.
So actually, both of these definitely contain digits.
Can you change the color? At least on my end, the light gray does not.
Oh, we want to do a different color than light gray. I can. Let's do green for that. That'll work. And that I think doesn't clash horribly with either the purple lines or the blue lines. And sorry, this one is also green. So
betting isn't open. Somebody said.
It is now. Tristan just opened it.
There you go.
Oh, there is a check solutions on finish. I have no idea where that is. But I mean, it's just never going to trigger, right?
It's right there underneath gameplay, second line.
There we go. Okay. There we go.
I pointed like you could see where I was pointing. Just
okay. And I suppose I should note these two are the same. Oh, I don't have. Why are my pen tools off? That I know how to turn on at least. Although weirdly that made everything change shape.
Looks
So
fine still, so I know.
these two are the same digit, is what I wanted to use this sort of red circle for. I don't know what that digit is, but they
But
have
it
to be
makes
the same
sense.
digit. Because of that. Because, well, they have the same sum, so they had better be the same digit.
Yeah.
Uh,
2, 2, and 2, 3 also. Oh wait, no, those aren't.
yeah,
Those
sadly, the
are
purple
Renbans, not
lines,
region sum.
we know need to have a digit, but we don't know they need to have a digit in every box.
Oh,
Uh,
Sarah, me too. I'd love to explain it more.
uh, Now, like a thing I'm thinking about just to sort of visualize this is this could be 3 with a 1-2 pair here and a 3 here if these are both dark black. Is a possible like thing that could happen here, as far as I am able to determine.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything other than that this digit is at least 3. I don't think. Now, if I were to make this a 6, then I would have to fill in the entire box.
Mhm.
Uh, but that is okay, I think. Uh,
That
so
does
yeah,
guarantee us
to
that they're going to
Sarah's
be
thing, yeah.
right.
So box, row, and column each need to contain the digits 1 through n for some n. So every row, column, and box needs to contain a 1, for example. I don't know if that is useful. Uh,
Yeah,
oh,
Martin, I think that's what Zeta was just starting to explain is that they have to be at least 3.
Yeah, so does this one so that one has to be at least 3. Does this one have to be at least 3? I think so, but it's not
Yeah,
as
Sarah, you cannot have
clear.
a 7-cell region.
But if this were 1 or 2, the reason why it doesn't work, this is what Martin is pointing out, is that if
Mhm.
I try to make this a 2, then I could make that a 2 and just make this black. But now I can't do any way of summing to 2 up here because of the Sudoku of the two twos.
That makes
So,
sense. Good
so
spot.
that means I do in some box need to sum more than one digit here, which means I always get to uh, at least 3. So there are at least 4 green cells in both this row and this box, because if these are both from 3, 4, 5, 6, one of
Yeah,
them is at least 4. Was Martin's
I
point?
was going to say that, but I didn't get a chance to, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, So a thing that often comes up is that if this is a digit and it goes in this box, it can't repeat on the Renban. So if this digit does show up in this box, which is a lot of ifs, that digit can't go in any of these cells, so it would have to go
Let's
exactly
have
here.
to go there.
Uh,
But yeah, I don't
so
know if
we have
that's
that.
helpful,
Uh,
at least at this current time.
uh, Jay says the two big region sum lines sum to a triangular number. Do you mean the sum of the two of them is a triangular number, or do you mean each of them is a triangular number? Uh, okay, yeah. So right. That's very smart. So Jay's point is these two digits are the sum of every digit that shows up in this box. Because
Yeah.
that digit is the sum of those 3, that digit is the sum of those 3. And
Yes.
therefore, the sum of these two uh, needs to be either 1, which it certainly isn't, or 1 plus 2, which is 3, which it certainly isn't, or 1 plus 2 plus 3, which would be 6, which it still can't be. And so 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10 is possible. But then the next number is 15, which is too big. So if I put 1 through 5 in here, that's too many because I would need to make these two sum to 15 and I can't. So in
Makes sense.
fact, this box weirdly I know contains 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I know the sum of
Several
these two
times.
digits has to be exactly 10, which means they have to be 4 and 6. That's the only way that I can sum to 10. That is really cool. Uh,
Huh.
uh,
Got about 80% of that.
Yeah, so the point is if I put fewer digits than 1 through 4 in this box, I would need to make
Mhm.
these sum to at most 6, which is not possible when they are each at least 3.
It's the
Uh,
summing part that's confusing me, and that probably is going to take too long to explain. So I'll bug Tris about it later.
And so, yeah, as chat points out, that means that this entire box is now green because there's a 6 in it.
Makes sense.
And so now these digits are 1, 2, 3, 5, like that. So, and this row, Codec points out, is also green because it contains a 6.
Smart.
And so one of these columns is completely filled as well. I'm not sure which one, but whichever of these is a 6, it flood fills its entire column.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Let's see. Okay, this is a length 5 Renban-ish. Ron, isn't that only true if this cell contains a digit? Like, if this digit isn't in this box at all, I don't think that has to be true. Unfortunately. Let's see. Brian says the 4 in box 2 has to be in this column. I'm trying to...
No, he said box 1. He typed in the wrong. Oh, no, sorry. I'm reading backwards. Yeah, box 2.
So I can't put a 4. So this 4 is going to be 1 plus 3. So whatever one of these is 4 is going to be 1 plus 3 up in this box. And whichever one is 6 is going to be 2 plus 4.
2, 4. Sure.
I'm trying to understand why we can't put a 4 in, say, this column. Like, if this were a 6 and that were a 2, 4, I don't understand what the problem with that is.
What are the other ways you can build a 6?
I think the only way, given that I'm only in this box or in general.
Yeah, in general at the moment.
In general, we could also do 1, 5, but we don't have a 5 in this box. But we could do 1, 5 in this box.
That's what I was asking. Can we use that information to define box 2?
So I know that that box 2, or sorry, yeah, I know that box 2, the 4 sum has to be 1 plus. Oh, could it be
3.
4, 4? Sorry, it could be that the 6 is 1, 2, 3, and the 4 sum is 4. I had missed that, but that's definitely possible. And Jay Dyer points it out. Yeah, there's 2 ways, actually, that this sum could work. Because it could be 6 is 1 plus 2 plus 3, say, and 4 is 4.
Okay. But I do think those work together because of box 4.
Let's see. Paulfly says row 5 column 4 can't be 6. But I don't understand why. Let's see. So if row 5 column 4 is a 6, then the whole column is green. So in box 4, we can't place a 6, but we need all the cells greened. So if this were 6, I would green all of these. And I would need to green these because I need to make this. I know at least one of these 2 is green.
Would be green, yeah.
And so I don't understand the point.
6. So if that's a 6, then the box 2 would be 1. Would have to be 1, 2, and 3, right?
If this is a 6?
No, I'm sorry. If 5, 4. It could still be 4 and 2 to make 6. Never mind.
I do agree we need 4 green cells in this box. At least. But we could have more than 4 green cells in this box. We just need the green cells to sum to at least 10. And the green cells over here definitely sum to 10.
In column 6, how many ways can we make 4? Can we rule out 4 from C6? I'm sorry, 5, 6? How did I get it?
Oh, okay, I understand the point now. Okay, let me do this in the bifurcation palette. So if this is 6, the following several things happen. All of these cells become green.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so I need a green cell on this line, but I can't have only one green cell on the line because if I have one green cell on the line, it is a 6. But as soon as it's a
Makes
6,
sense.
then this cell's green too. So Paul Fly's point is in all universes, in fact, actually, these are green.
Okay.
But now the problem is all of these are green, but none of them are 6 because this is part of a 2-cell sum to 6. This is even worse. This is part of a 2-cell
Two
sum to
cell to
4.
four,
And
and
these
6
see 6
rules
by
out
Sudoku.
column 4.
Right.
Okay, so it
So in
can't be 6. It
fact,
has to be.
that is the 6. And we get to bring out Zach for the 6 dance. Boop, boop, boop. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I do know that.
Boop,
This
boop,
guy's
boop.
so small.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Well, even the dolphin's bigger than this.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that's a 4. Okay, so none of those are 4. Okay, so either these two are
None of
1,
those can
3,
be 2.
or that single one is 4. Just in terms
Yeah.
of how this is working.
But yeah, that means
And
that they can't be 2,
likewise-
so you can remove 2 from that one.
Oh,
Column
these
4.
can't be 1, 3. Maybe they could. If these are 1, 3, then I would put a 4 up here. Maybe that's okay. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, that was an insane spot, Paul Fly. That was a lot to wrap my brain around to start this puzzle.
Could that be a 1? Yeah, never mind. Okay, because you don't need the box 2 completely filled in yet. But yeah, can 1, 4, and 2, 4 have a 2 in it?
Why does
I
this
don't
have
think
to
so
appear in
anymore.
box 5, Ron? I don't understand why it has to appear in box 5 at all. Oh, David makes a donation. Time to see Christian do donation dance for the holidays.
It's a donation
Constant
dance.
thank you for all just magical, exceptional setting and logic. Let's do a donation dance.
I want to point out that Zeta has like a little chart for dances, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Thank you, Zach.
I just
Thank
like
you.
Woo, he did backflip. He's talented.
I'm told that the way penguin leg strength works, back flips are a lot easier than front flips. So he only does front flips for the 9s.
All right.
Fortunately,
Nerd.
he is very happy there are no 9s in this puzzle that he has to worry about. I think there can be multiple empty cells on a Renban Garian, as far as I'm aware. Oh, I can green column 6 now. That's a good point, because column 6 now has a 6 in it, so these can be greened.
You never answered my question. Can 1, 4, and 2, 4 have a 2 in it?
1, 4,
I don't
and 2, 4
think
have
so.
a. Oh yeah, they certainly cannot have a 2 in them because then 4 would be 2 plus 2, and 2 plus 2 is not going to work, and that can't be 2 either, actually.
For the same reason.
Yeah. So the 6 sum is either 2, 4 or 1, 2, 3. And the 4 sum is either a 4 exactly here or a 1, 3 exactly there.
And that will define what's the part in the region sum in box 4.
Yes, because either this will be both of these are green or one of them is green and is a 4.
Yeah, and we'll know if we figure out what box 2 is.
Okay, let's see.
Because
J40 says this can't be a 4 because it fills box 4 with digits.
6 would have to go in.
Right. Okay, and so and now that can't be anything. So yeah, so if here is Jay's point. If this digit's a 4, Now
Hmm.
this needs to be a 2-cell sum.
Yep.
Uh,
So 1-3.
so yeah, so it would be 1-3. Now this is either nothing or a 6. Uh, but neither of those works with my sum to 6, which had to be either 2-4 or one two
That makes
three.
sense. Okay.
So everything is broken if that's the single 4.
Which means that it has to be a 1-3.
So this 4 is a 1-3. That's right. Yep. So this 4 is a 1-3. Ron, the reason it couldn't be a 2 is because that made a 1-2-3-5 triple, or sorry, 1-2-3-5 quad in this column. Uh, that was the issue. When we oops. Ah! Sorry, I hit the wrong button several times in a row, and then it got worse. There we go.
So many wrong buttons.
Uh, uh, 6 digits in column 5 with no 6. Uh, rare blank cell dance. Where is the blank cell?
Black cell.
Row 1,
When
column
we
5.
finally
Yeah,
get one that doesn't have a number in it.
Yeah, why does this have to not have a number in it? Because there's a 2-4 pair in box 3. Wait, in box 3. Box 2. Right, because now 1 and 3, right. Okay, yes. The point is, remember the 6 either had to be 2 plus 4 or 1 plus 2 plus 3. Well, it's definitely
But
not
it
1
can't
plus
be.
2
We have a
plus
1-3
3
pair now.
if there's a 1-3 over here. Got it.
Makes
Okay,
sense.
so
Okay.
so these are 2-4
I can follow that
honestly,
one.
and this is a black
cell.
hole of nothingness. And this is no 2.
That's fun.
Right. Okay. And so these digits now had better be 1-5, because they're not 2-4, and it's a 2-cell sum to 6, and it's probably not 3-3 either. So these are
Yeah.
1-5, and that digit is a 3. So we get all of that. Okay, so now my 4 is a 1-cell sum because the 4 can't be a 2-cell sum because it would be 1-3. And so there's a 4 here and a black cell. So this is a 4 black pair.
I was right. Okay, cool.
But there's 5 green cells in this box. So by Minesweeper logic, the 1 black cell's here, so these are both green.
Makes sense.
So we've
I
got
knew if we... Yeah. Okay.
that. Okay. So
Yeah, I knew based on the region sum. I can't quite explain why, but I knew if 1-3 was in box 2, then another 4 was going to have to be in box 4. That makes any sense. They had to be opposite, and I couldn't exactly tell you why, but they had to be.
column 5 only has 4 digits, has been claimed. Column 5 has 2 or 3 black cells, has been claimed. Oh,
Column
right.
5 only has-
Right. We already know about 2 black cells because remember this is a 4 black cell pair. That's a
Yeah.
black cell. That means we have the digits at most 1 through 4 in this column. That means neither of these is 5 because in a column
There's
with
2
only
black
4
cells.
digits, we only get the digits 1 through 4, and so therefore that's the 5. That is chat's point. And so now
That
this
makes
Renban
sense.
definitely needs to have a 3 on it because it needs a digit that goes between 1, 2, and 5. In fact, it needs every digit that goes between 1, 2, and 5. 3 being one of them, and the 3 can only go there by Sudoku or
Well,
Sortadoku.
5-1 is a
Standard
3.
Sortadoku rules, as
Sortadoku.
chat is fond of saying. So these digits are from 1 to 5. And one of these 2 cells is a 4 because I definitely need to connect the 3 to the 5 with a 4. So there is a 4 in here somewhere.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, and there is a 5 in one of these 2 cells, I should note, because if there were no 5, these would be a 1-2 triple.
Okay.
So that
So
means there's at least 5 green cells in this box, if not 6.
yeah.
Uh, so that is also very helpful to notice. Uh, uh, and now this digit does have to appear in this box. I understand why, because this digit has enough cell, or this box has at least 5 cells in it, so it definitely has the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this digit shows up in this box, but not in the same row and not on the same Renban, so it shows up there. And so
Okay.
we can do that. Is chat's point. So these are a 1, 2, 5
1, 2 parent column 5.
triple. That is a 1, 2 pair in
Oh,
column
Laura,
5.
yeah,
Yep.
points that out. So that
Oh, and
has
so
to
this has
at
got to be the
least
3 in column 5. Column 5 needs a
Yeah.
3 because it's got a 4, and the 3 can only go up there for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's one somewhere over there.
Indeed. Right, right. This can't be a 1 anymore, chat points out, because if this is a 1, I would need a 2 to connect it to the 3, but the 2 in this box has been disappeared into this
Oh, into the
triple.
triple. Okay, yeah.
So this is actually a
one.
2.
Or,
That's a
yeah,
1.
makes that a 1.
Okay, so we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we might have a 6 or we might have a nothing. And so we no longer need to keep track of the fact that we know that 2 is equal to 2.
Are you sure? You never know.
80%.
It's Sortadoku.
It's true. It's true. Who knows? Right. Jay Dyer points out, I know this box has a 2 and a 3 in it. Where did they go? They have to go here, of course, because they can't join the 4 for lots of reasons. Not least of which including that 2 and 3 are already in the column, but also including the fact that neither 4 plus 2 nor 4 plus 3 is equal to 4. Strangely enough. Sure? We might have to double check that. Okay, so if this is a 2 and that's a 1, then this could be empty.
Have to be a well, okay.
Oh, no, it would have to be empty, actually, because that would be the 3.
3, yeah, okay.
So if this is a 2, that's a 1, and this is empty. If this is a 3, that's a 2, and this is a 4, and that's a 5. Because of the fact that this Renban can't have both a 2 and a 3 on it because of this geometry here.
That makes
sense. That
sense.
thing is not on this Renban. So it's either 1, 2 blank, or it is 3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5. That's fine.
I'm being told there's a 1, 5 pair in row 4. So row 4 has lots of digits in it because of this 1, 5 pair. I concur with this assessment. Yeah, so this needs 5 green cells in this row. Let's see. Where is row 3, column 4? In row 4. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's a good spot. So yeah, this digit, we said it can't go there, but it has to go in the row because the row has at least 5 green cells. And so the only spot by Sortadoku this can go is there. So this cell is green. We can say it's the green 2, 3, and it's that green 2, 3. So that's the other 2, 3.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do we break the world if I put a 4 here and I can't put a 4 in this Renban? I don't know. It doesn't sound good. So, okay. I definitely am not putting a 6 anywhere in this row. So these 2 cells are a 4 and a blank in some order.
Good catch.
Quite know what to do with that, but I can't make either of them a 6.
If you put a 4 on that Renban, then that defines the other Renban, at least where the 4 is. So is that what you were saying with the... No, that's confusing. The 4-2 Renban, that's the X23, is that like a 4 couldn't go on that. There's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, if there's a 4 here, then this
4 cannot go on that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Chad is pointing out I can just write zeros into cells, so I can write that these are
zeros?
from
That would
0,
have
4,
been
and this is from 0, 4.
very helpful.
We just have to remember we can't do Sudoku on 0 in this puzzle because there could be multiple zeros or no zeros.
But that then defines the row 6.
Okay,
right?
Let's see.
What is that?
Okay, so people are pointing out this 1, 5 either does or doesn't show up in this box.
Mm-hmm.
But if it does show up in this box, it needs to show up on one of these two, and it certainly can't go there because then I would have to connect 1 to 5 in 2 digits. So I'd have to put 2, 3, and 4 in this cell, which would break that cell, among other problems that it might create.
And can you have repeating numbers on
sorry.
Renban?
I did. You're right. I did do. I used red X twice.
Jeez. And you can't have repeating numbers on a Renban, right?
You cannot have repeating numbers on a Renban, correct?
Okay.
So yeah, so blue in this box can only possibly go there.
Yeah.
The blue X. Could this Renban have only 1 digit on it in that case, Sarah? Because Sarah's pointing out that if this is 1, this is 2, because these 2 would then be on a Renban. That's the instance where this is a 0. But now there's no place for a 2 on this Renban, but I think I could just leave it as a Renban that contains the very uninteresting sequence of digits 1. So if this is a 1, these are both black hole cells, is the consequence of this.
That makes sense. What if it's 5?
What if it's 5? If this is a 5, then you
can't put
then that's a 4. And so the only place you could possibly get a 4 onto this Renban would be there. But you can't because of this box, right? Because as soon as that's a 4, that's a 4.
I did it. I totally knew that I was going to follow through. Yeah.
Yep. So if this is a 5, these are also both. They could be a 6. There could be a 6 in one of these.
That's a good point. No, or it might be able to be on the 3, but it couldn't be on 2, 2 because we know that that's a 5.
Oh, right. This cell can't be a 6 because there's a dead cell in its row already.
And then if that's 4, 4 has to go up there. So that 3, 1 could be a 6 if 4, 3 is a 4.
4, 3 is a 4, yeah. So if this is 5, that's a 4. And then so the question is, can this really be a 6? Do I run into something if I green this whole shebang? Okay, that's an interesting point. So if this digit is a 3, that rules 3 entirely out of box 1 because none of those cells can be a 3, and those cells can't be a 3. If this is a 3, it rules it out of both of those, and so there would be a maximum of 2 cells in this box that had green digits in them. But didn't we argue in both cases this cell is always black? I think we argued in both cases this cell is always black.
Yes.
Because if this is a 5, we need a 6, and it can't go there in a row with a black cell. And this can't be a 4 because that's a 4. So this cell's always black. I think is a thing that we have learned about ourselves. Uh, uh,
Yes.
a 6 in 3-1 would put 2 blanks in row 4. Uh, wouldn't it a 6 here just make this a 4 and a blank there? Uh, 3 is a 3. Can't go in box 3. So yeah, so if this digit were a 3, uh, that's also a problem. Almost. Uh, but if this digit, so this is the only cell in this entire box that can be 3. And if this cell is 3, now those can't be 3, that can't be 3, and that can't be 3, and that can't be 3. So there's just no anything. No, Jaleb,
Caleb,
this
this
is
is
this
not.
is Nebuzaradan. We've been doing Nebuzaradan puzzles since I'm pretty sure Nebu has submitted something to every setting challenge, uh, at the very least. Uh, but yeah, so oh, Christian, no, Christian's my
Oh,
boyfriend.
no. Yes.
Boyfriend of Tristan and I.
Yes.
Uh, so yeah,
I think.
so
I'm sorry.
So either this box or this box has only 2 green cells. Is that what we're saying? Because we've said if we put a 3 in this box, we can't put 3 in this box, and vice versa, I think.
If we look at the 4s that we have, I think that the 4s work with the Renban somehow. And if we can follow that, we'll be able to finish those. And I think that'll help us define box 1.
Okay.
I'm using some intuition here.
So I guess maybe a useful thing to point out is that this cell is always 4, 0, or 6, because it's can't be, if this is a 1, then it's blank. If this is a 5, then it has to be 4 or 6. So let's just sort of let's just try and mark this just to make this discussion easier as we try and sort of work through this. If this one I think has just loads of options, right? Lots of people writing lots of if this then that statements
It's a little too much.
Right. If
follow
circle is 5, that's a 4. So this is never a 4. That's a thing we said before, but we didn't actually write down. Because if this is a 5, that had to be a 4 in order to connect it to this being 3.
Okay, which means that makes sense. And if that's a 4, then that Renban to your left or to the left of the 4 couldn't be a 3, right?
So if this is a 4, then these are 4, 5, and 6. So these would have to be 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. Paul Fly said something. If box 3 has only 2 green cells, then neither column 2 nor column 3 can have 5 greens. Okay, so if this box has only 2 green cells, then we're saying all of this is black. That's very good. Okay, so if this box has only 2 green cells, it's these 2, and now all of these would be black in that universe. But now I can't make either of these cells 5, because whichever of them I make 5, remember, puts at least 5 green cells in the column.
And that would break that.
And so that breaks. So this box does not have only 2 green cells, which means this cell is not a 3.
Makes sense.
Can
you put a red 3 in the corner?
Yeah, so this is not a 3, because remember, if this was a 3, it ruled 3 out of this box entirely.
Yeah.
And so therefore, this box does not have a 3 at all because there's nowhere else where one could go. So everything in this box is a 0, 1, or
Is
2.
0, 1, or 2.
And
Okay.
those are not 2, uh, for sure.
That's definitely Paul Fly's suggestion, but I'm taking credit for getting us there.
Fair.
I
Only
knew the
fair.
Renbans would help us to find something, and I still think there's more. They're doing a lot here.
Uh, so now there can't be 6 green cells in this column because one of these, for sure, at least, maybe both, but at least one of these is black.
That
And
makes
so,
sense.
because at least one of these is black, this can't be a 6, and so is black.
That's 0.
So that is nothing. Uh, and so,
So that's 1 then, right?
so if this
Put
was
5 and nothing then?
5, that's a 4. That's nothing. Oh, right. If this is a 5, I can't put a 4 in the column. Let's make it let's do it the easy way. If this is a 5, there's no 4 in the column.
Yeah.
So this is a 1.
That's what I was saying.
Yep. Good. And so so the bet tree
Those
is
are black.
void. Congratulations to all the void betters out there.
Could you bet nothing or bet on nothing?
May all your betting tree wishes come true. Okay. The void has taken us all. There's okay. We now know this is a 0. Oh, I guess I already knew this was a 0-1 pair. Okay, but this can't be a 4 anymore because in this row there can't be 4 green cells because there's 3 voids already. So that's a 2 and that's a 4,
which means we're going to need.
So yeah, this is a void 1 pair.
Makes sense.
And here we do actually need
a 1 and a 2.
A 1 and a 2. So there actually really is a 2 up here, for what it is worth. Let's see. Craziness is ensuing. If this was a 1, these would have to be a 2-3 pair. I don't see if that's a problem.
No, they can't. Oh, no, never mind. They could. Sorry. I got confused by 4.
Garion pointing out that the circles are the same, so I should probably fill in the other thing that's a circle. Would be very smart of me. Oops, I did not mean to relocate the bet tree. I meant to undo those. Okay, and so now this column has 5 green cells in it.
Helpful
indeed. At least it could have 6, I suppose. But now there can't be a 4 here because Renban stuff. I would need 2 and 3 to both go in that cell, which is definitely not possible. So this cell has been voided.
We know that
and now
the other
X
cell is 2.
Excellent. That's a 3. We can ditch the X's. Thank you, X's, for your help.
That puts another black cell there.
Yep.
Which means at most we can have 5. Can we have 3,
and we need the 2 here now because this row needs 4 green cells. So in fact, actually, those are both green, which means this is void.
Well, we know what they are.
That is green, right? We know exactly.
You don't have to. I mean, make it green, but yeah, we know that's 2, that's 1, that's 0, and that's 1.
Yep. And so this needs to be a 4 because there's a 5 in the row.
Makes sense. We have 1 or 2, so that's not helpful in row 3.
We do need a 4 in this column.
But it
could
still
that
could
go
go
4,
on
3, maybe. Neither of these can be a 6, so this is a legitimate 0-4 combo.
Oh, no, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
And whichever of these is 0, puts, let's see if
we still need a 3 in column 3.
We do still need a
So
3
we
in column
can't
3,
put a
right? So the
4.
3 is there. Right. That's the
Yeah.
point, right? Because there's
Which
a
means
5,
that
there's
has
a
to be
3.
4.
We actually need both a 3 and a 4, right?
Yes, but I mean, like, that's a 3, which means that
Which
0,
means
4
this,
has to be.
yep, means this has to be a 4. And that is the void.
But that means, yeah, that can't be a 6, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
now
think
that has been
that's it.
voided, and now this can't be
That's-
anything, because if
yeah,
it
it's
were
voided.
anything, it would be a 3, but it can't be a 3. And I believe we are done. I wonder what answer check will say. It says the solution is correct.
Cool.
Very cool puzzle. What a weird rule set. I feel like this is definitely the most the furthest away from Sudoku that we have gotten in this challenge. But that's
Throwing
really
me to the
cool.
wolves.
I really like the interaction of the every house that has the digits 1 through n for some n. And you just have to figure out what n is, because it let us do lots of sort of back and forth between Sortadoku and shading, which was very cool. I don't know if I
got there.
Do or don't want to ask for a 9x9 version of this.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, but let's take a quick break, and then we will be back shortly with more Sortadoku. And if I come back and the screen is black, tell me, because it means I've reflexively hit the non-Christian button instead of the Christian button. All right.
I have my own button.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Bye.
Hello again, everyone. I remembered to hit the right button, so instead of a black void of a screen, you get to see the lovely Christian above us. Uh, all right, so Tristan has cursed us in chat, by the way, because Tristan has said there are only two puzzles left, so we will finish them all today. So I feel like that is just setting us up for this to be a 6-hour puzzle that we solve. Uh,
Well, we're streaming until it's done. Let's go.
yes. Yeah, I do quite enjoy the challenges. The challenges are very fun. I don't know. The stream things. I mean, the challenge for the stream, for the 200th stream or the whatever, are set a puzzle that I'll like, basically. I think those count as a challenge. Um, oh yeah. So what about Tristan's 41st birthday? Are we accepting submissions for
Yeah.
that? You've got a good week for that one. Uh, but yes, I will be 40 soon. Uh,
So old.
I know, I know. Uh, all right, so let us read the rules to Sniglet's puzzle, Club Sandwiches. So normal Sudoku rules do not apply. Place into each row, column, and box the digits 1 twice, 9 once, 1 twice, 9 once, and 6 of the 7 digits from 2 to 8. While 1 digit from 2 to 8, to be determined by the solver, does not appear in the grid at all. Okay, so we have that. So we basically 2 ones and one thing has been evicted completely. Each row and column contains either a double sandwich with a 9 between the 2 ones, or a club sandwich with a 9 to one side of the 2 ones. In a double sandwich row or column, the outside clue gives the identical sum of digits between the 9 and the 2 ones. And so it gives you the helpful example 1 3 5 9 8 1, where the point is sort of the ones and nines in this puzzle are special. So we'll make them, I don't know, yellow to make them special. And then it's saying that in one of these rows, if the 9 is between the 2 ones, that sum is always the same as that sum. Is that true even if there's not a clue outside the grid? The outside. Okay.
Yes. You look
Yes.
at the second to last paragraph. Every double sandwich row and column must have identical sum for the first 2 sandwich halves, even if no outside clue is given.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Uh, good. And so the clue gives that sum, and in the club sandwich, in the other version, we get the outside. So the outside clue gives the sum. So in this case, the outside clue would be 8 if it were this kind of sandwich, or if it's the other kind, gives the sum of the digits between the 9 and the 1 further from it. If the example given is 1 3 4 3 4 1 9. In this row, we don't have the 9 in the middle, so we don't get sort of 2 sandwiches. We just get 1 sandwich, but the 1 sandwich now includes this 1 on the inside. Okay. And this diagonal just sums to 34. No weird oddness about like the sandwiches or whatever. Just the row sums to that.
Okay.
Okay. So in these columns where the clue is a 0, there must be a 191. Is the only way you can get a 0, because 119, the second kind of sandwich, the minimum sum of that kind of sandwich is 1, because the 1 would be included. So the exact sequence of digits, 191, occurs in this column and in this column and in this row somewhere.
That makes sense. Well, presumably overlapping, which means I think the corners we can mark as... No, how does that work? Never mind. because the ones can repeat. So I was getting a little. Never mind. Okay,
Okay.
I worked it out. I was wrong.
The 3 has to be a double sandwich. So that is the 1 has to appear inside it because there's only one way to make 3, and it involves
A 1 and a 2.
a 1 and a 2. Well, I guess technically there's 2 ways. There's a 1 and a 2 and a 3, but in a club
Oh, that's
sandwich I
fair.
can't use the ones at all because the ones are sort of
Yeah.
the bread. So so the double sandwich won't work. So this is a single sandwich. Or sorry, so this is sorry. The thing that it's calling a double sandwich is kind of what I want to call the opposite of that, but I'm just going to try and mark it and say we'll mark X for this. We'll make it red X for the second kind, the one where it includes the 1. And then we'll make it blue X for the ones where the 9 is in the middle, which we've said all of the zeros, the 9 is in the middle.
Makes sense.
Okay, so chat has pointed out that the 33 clue is quite interesting because we certainly need to make it one sum, because if we tried to make it 2 sums to 33, our column would sum to
We're
like
not getting
more than
there.
66, which is way more. So 1 sum it is. I don't know how X in my brain corresponds to 1, or red corresponded to 1 sum and blue corresponded to 2 sums, but whatever. This is 1 sum. And the outies, so the digits 1 through 9 sum to 45, but we've got a second one, which is 46. But one of the ones isn't included in the sandwich. So we're back to 45 again, because one of the ones is one of the outer crusts. And we're omitting a digit from the puzzle. So oh, sorry, we're missing, sorry, 46. Sorry, I did this wrong. So 45 plus the second one is 46, but the second one and the 9 don't count. So that's 36. And then we take away the missing digit. So the missing digit can only possibly be 3, right? Like just the entire column. I think we need the entire column, or I don't think we can get there. So I think these both have to be. Sorry, I think these have to be a 1-9 pair, and the missing digit is 3, I think, if I have done this math correctly. Because I think otherwise there is no way to do it.
The curve end says 35 minus 33 plus 1 is equal to 3. So I think that means they agree with you.
I think that possibly means they agree with me. So we'll highlight those as that. And no, so yeah, so there's no 3s in the puzzle. So apologies to 3-betters out there. And so we have that. So yeah, so this is actually so this sandwich has a 1 and a 2 in it.
That makes
Because
sense.
of that. Okay, now if this 31 row, I think if this were a 9, I think we're in huge trouble, because if this is a 9, remember this is, sorry, I haven't marked it. This is a single sum row, for sure. Because if it was a double sum row, we would need to sum to like more than 60. So this is a single sum row where 9 is one of the ends. So the ends would be 9 and 1, and we would need the center digits to sum to 31. Well, you can't make 4 cells sum to 31. That's too many. So this needs to not be a 9. It needs to be a 1, and we get to do a 1 dance.
What is the 1 dance?
Ba-doop, ba-doop, woo! Ba-doop, ba-doop, wah! It looks like a 1. Ba-doop, ba-doop, wee! Ba-doop, ba-doop, wah!
You did a little walk. What'd you get for a 1?
Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that's got to be the 9, I believe. because we need an end to the sandwich. We said those needed to be a 1-9 pair. Uh, okay. Garion says this can't be a 1 or 9. Uh, right. So, very cute. So, if this was a 1, we'd need to make these cells. Sorry, no. If this was a 1, if this is a 1, we run into the problem with that whole 191 thing. Because remember, by the column, if this is a 1, my column looks like this. But now this
Yep.
row needs a 9 between two 1s, and it can't have one if the
and it can't
9
do
is
that.
there.
That makes
so
sense.
this can't be a 1 at the very least. So I think it could be a 9, though. I don't see why it couldn't be a 9. Can't be a 9 because of the column. Right, the column
Same
needs
problem.
a 1 between the 9. So this is just nothing. Right, so in both cases, so we'll try graying that to indicate it can't be 1 or 9. Whereas in this case, the digits we're talking about sum to 34. Right, 34 is the highest sandwich clue. My
Yes.
brain is
yes
confused here because
Kurban mentioned that. Yeah, because it's the 33. That's how we ruled out the 3, so it has to be 34. I'm not entirely sure.
33. Okay, so the outies need to sum to. Oh, right. Sorry, the sum of the entire inside is 33. So 33 is the max. That's what's going on in this column. So this needs to be a 2 with these both being crusts is the point, because I only get a total of 2 outside my 1 and 9. That is what Chad is saying.
Okay.
Because if I have absolutely nothing outside the 1 and 9, then I know the sum is 33. So here the sum of the digits outside is 2, and so that's a 2. These are
okay.
1, 9. Okay, this one we said is a single sum that includes a 1 and a 2. So these are a 1, 2, and that's yellow, and nothing else is in that column. Because we said it. Oh, I can't gray this column. Sorry, you're right. I can't gray this because there's another 1 in there. This graying though was correct because this is a 1, 2 with a 1 or a 9.
Okay.
This row is a single sum as well because again, if I had a double sum, I'd make my row sum to at least 50. So 8, 7, 6 is still not large enough to get to 25. But there's a 1 in there. Never mind. Sorry, I was going to try and gray these, but I can't because I could put a 1 here without ending the sandwich if I wanted. Okay. Smart point from Jay Dyer. If this is a 1, then by the row, this goes 1, 9, 1. But now I've put 4 1 9s in this box, which I don't think I'm allowed to do. Because I only get 2 1s and a 9. So that's actually the 2, and that's the 1.
That makes sense. Sure.
I like that. Okay. So this can't be yellow because if it was, that would also put 4 yellows into box 9 because this would have to go again 1, 9, 1. So I think that's also gray for the same logic. And this is also gray for the same logic. Again, if this were yellow, it would have to be 1, 9, 1 in order to get my 0. And then that breaks.
Yeah, Martin's pointing out that you can gray out a lot on the 0 clues.
I'm not sure that I understand a way to gray out anything other than what is currently grayed out on the zero clues. Uh, uh,
Column 8.
that's true. I agree with Selena. This cell is gray. Uh, the classic sandwich deduction. If this was a crust, my sandwich would be everything. But we know a sandwich with everything in it sums to 33, and 25
Okay.
is not 33. And so again, the three yellows are together, so that's definitely not yellow. And now the three yellows are together, so no matter how I do it, that's always yellow. I need to pick three consecutive yellows out of here, and that would be the topmost, that would be the bottommost. I could do that one too, but all of these involve that cell being yellow.
That makes sense.
A sandwich with everything in it is just soggy. I agree, Bremster. There are some things I might not want on my sandwich.
There. I had a soggy sandwich on Sunday and it was bad.
That's true. You
Soggy
did. It was not
Sunday.
very good. A lot of people are saying I can get something out of column 8, but if I can, I don't see it. Which doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means I don't see it.
Well, so the logic you used in box 7, you can't use that for box 9 in column 8.
So I know those three aren't all yellow, but I don't
Yep.
see how knowing those three aren't all yellow tells me anything.
Can you put another yellow box in?
But I think like
7,
those three, I think
8?
could all be yellow.
Okay.
I don't think there's any
Okay.
problem with that. Or like those three or whatever. So I think all three of these could still be yellow. They just can't all be yellow at the same time, I believe.
Row 7, column 8. Paulfly says breaks yellow.
Yeah, so
Yellow
Paulfly
breaks.
says these three can't
Break.
be yellow.
Because R68 would be 9.
Because yeah, if these are all yellow, this would be the 9, but the 9 ends the sandwich in this case.
Oh.
And
okay.
so that doesn't work right. Okay, so I agree that one is gray. And so now this one's gray because we said those can't all be yellow. So that gets us at least one up. And that's now yellow because I need 3 in a row. And I can't do 3 in a row without that.
That's the same exact deductions you did on column 1. You said we couldn't do it.
Well, this one was more complicated because it involved the 9 bit not being able to go there. Was the tricky part, I think. Let's see. There is a 2 in one of these cells. I don't know if that's very interesting. Let's see. These are both 1 or 9. And I have to keep in mind that anytime it turns out that the 9 actually is between the two ones, we have this requirement even if there's not a clue on the outside. Which is quite interesting.
Sure. Very restrictive R8.
9 in row 8 is in one of those 3 cells. I think.
Is that what J40
this is what J40 is looking
said?
at. Okay. But I think J40 sees a thing that I do not see about something like over here and what happens with 9s. So if this is the 9, right? If this is the 9, we get this 191 pattern again. And the 9 has to be in the middle of the 191, which would be a problem. So actually, if I look at where the 9 goes in the row, remember it has to go in the middle, so it's not going on the outsides, and it can't go there, is part of the point. And it can't go in the column that already has a 9, so the 9 is in one of those 2 places.
Makes sense.
And so
But you can't put a 9 in that left place because the ones would overlap. No, ones can double, sorry.
Yeah, ones can double.
And that's going to 33, so that would actually even work. Okay, cool.
So I don't see the row 9 column 2 point that chat is on. Because I don't. How does that interact with this at all? I don't see it.
1 has to go in B8 in R8.
Through the ones in box 9. This is a 9. That's a 1. Oh wow, yeah, that's incredibly convoluted. Yeah, so the point is, if this is a 9, it makes that a 1, and now there's no place to put a 9 because the 9 needs to go between two ones, but those two ones there have knocked the ability to put a 1 there, which then cascades into saying we can't put 9 here.
That makes sense.
So
steps on steps.
Chain
on
emojis
steps.
in chat. So this can't be a 9. That's a 1, which makes that a 9, which makes that a 1.
Is that a 1? And that places our 9. Right?
So now the 9 needed to go. I think the 9 still goes in one of these two spots. I don't think we've learned that the 9 doesn't go here yet, have we?
Maybe not. Can you corner mark the 9 there? Just so we keep so we know 9 in that row.
I can. Yeah, let me green these cells and corner mark a 9 them.
Okay.
Just to say, hey, one of these two is a 9.
Yeah.
So either these two are both 1s or these two are both 1s.
Yeah. 9 in row 6 has to be B and B4.
9 in row 6, yeah, can't be. Has to be far enough away from the 1 to get a sum of 25, which I can't do in 3, so I have to do it in at least 4. So the 9 has to be at least that far, but it can't be exactly there because there's a 9 in the column. And so the 9 in this box, Martin is pointing out, Carl is pointing out, is in one of these two.
Okay. Makes sense.
It is true. There's definitely a 1 in one of these two cells. And so because there's a 1 in one of these two cells, the point is that cell is always gray. Because we know this cell sees a 9 in the column. And so we get that.
Makes sense, yeah.
So now 9 in column 1. It's being pointed out because that corner marked 9 rules 9 out of these two cells. The 9 in column 1 can only go in one of these cells. And regardless of which of these is a 9, that one's always yellow, and that one never is, because that's one of those columns that has to have that 191 pattern exactly.
Yeah. Can we use that to deduce column 8? Those work off of each other definitely. It's just, is that enough to do anything?
I am not yet sure.
I think we get one, it tells us where the other is, but yeah, I'm not sure if it does anything now. So if that's 9, that can't be 9, but that could.
So row 5 has to be right. So row 5 has to be single sum now, because if row 5 had a double sum, the two sums would sum to 30, and then we would need everything outside the sums to sum to I don't know. I can't do the math, but it would be too small.
Okay.
So this is a single sum as well. Because again, Let's see. Maybe I should do the math of what happens in a row with a double sum. So in a double sum, we take our 43 that all the digits total to, and then we throw away the 9 and 2 ones, which is throwing away 11. So that gives us to 32. So the largest possible double sum is 16. That would be a double sum that had nothing outside of it. And so, so these two cells would have to add to 2 if this were a double sum, I believe, if I have done that math correctly.
That makes sense.
Let's see. Oh, well, the 23 is certainly a single sum. We might as well note. Yeah, if this is a double sum. If this is a double sum, that's a 2 by the math we just did. And there's a 2 in the row already. So this is not a this is not a double sum. So it is a single sum.
Okay. Interesting.
Let's see. It feels likely that this row is going to be a double sum, but I don't know yet.
I mean, it's even. It really feels that way.
I don't understand the 9 in row 3 thing. I've seen people in chat talking about it, but I don't know what the point is. Let's see. If this was a 9, that would be an 8. Yeah, if this was a 9, that digit would be an 8. If this is a 9, these two digits add to 8, I guess is how that math works. Let's see. I can't quite rule out. Actually, I think this cell can't be a 9. I don't think it could be a 1 either. Because if this... Oh, no, I could... No, what on earth am I doing if this is a 1? I don't think it works if this is a 1, right? I'd have to do... I can't do a double sandwich because the sum would be 0. And if I do a single sandwich, I would need to put a 1 here, but that would require a second 9. So this just doesn't work.
But didn't you go the other way?
If this
that's
is a
what
1,
you're saying.
Yeah, if the 1 goes the other way, then it's a double sandwich, but the double sandwich sum would be 0 and not 10.
Yeah. Wait, no, you could go the other way, because if that C1 R1 is 1, and then you have like 8 and 2, or then 9, and then 6 and 4, and then another 1. Doesn't that work still?
No, because if I do 8 and 2 and another 1, now this is a double sandwich, so that sum and the sum between this 1 and 9 are supposed to both be equal to 10.
Yeah, but put the 1 in 10, 0. Or I'm sorry, in 1, 1. Column 1, row 1.
Okay, so I put the 1 here instead.
Yeah.
Now I'm making a single sum. How do I make these two sum to 10?
Now you put add 2 and 8 or 6 and 4.
But this cell's already a 1.
Why does that have to be a 1?
Well, what I said was this cell can't be a 1, and you said no, it can be a 1. So then we looked at what happens if it is a 1. So my claim is this cell can't be 1 or 9 or it breaks.
Oh, okay.
And it's not 9 just by Sortadoku, and it's not 1 because you'd need a 9 inside the sandwich to make it work. Okay, sure. So Paul Fly wants to know what happens if 9 is not in... So where is 9 in row 3? And so if the 9... So the 9's definitely not in one of these cells. And I think Paul Fly is noting this cell definitely can't be 9, because if this cell is 9, then that's a 1 and the sum is 0.
Yeah,
so those four cells
can't
be
pairs.
9. And now if this is a 9, then we create a 1-9 pair where we need a double sandwich again, because that would be a 9. This would be a 1. This would be a single digit, and it would be the sum of those 4, but you can't do one digit as a sum of 4 digits. So I think we have ruled 9 out of all of those cells. And likewise, if 9 is here, we create a zero sum is equal to something. So
Yeah.
therefore, these two, the point is, are a single sandwich with a 1, 9 in them.
Okay.
That feels like an enormous amount of work for no benefit at all, but I will accept it.
I because they were both
Uh,
yellow, doesn't that mean that they were already 1-9?
they previously could have been 1, 1 with a 9 in the middle, and so the
Oh,
point
okay.
is now they're not that.
Now they're not.
Uh,
Okay.
but I doesn't feel like we got a lot out of that for how excited they were. But maybe Selena and Paulfly see a consequence of this that I do not see. But one of these is definitely a 9. Maybe that does something by the fact that that means either that pair is 1, 1 or this pair is 1, 1. But if it does, I don't see it. Is row 1, column 2 gray? I think row 1, column 2 is also gray from Screaming Ice Cube. Because if this is a 1, I would, again, need to somehow make this 10 clue work, and it's not going to work without using a 9. Because I'd have to do it either the split way or the other way, and neither way works. So I agree with Screaming Ice Cube. I think that cell is gray. Let's see. Okay. So Selena's claim is this cell now can't be a 9, because if this was a 9, I would now be making this 9 sum in a way that means that this isn't a 1. No, this could just be a 9. I think if this is a 9, that can be a 9. I think that's okay.
Yeah. Martin said something about
Yeah, the 9
marking,
clue
9
is
marking.
the 9 clue is very suspicious because of the fact that we know one of these two is 9. So again, we know one of these two is a 1 for this for purposes of this clue. Oh, is the point
Okay.
that these can't be a 1, 9 pair? I think the point is that these two cells can't be a 1, 9 pair, because if they are, then we're writing 9 as a sum of 68 bajillion cells. But I don't think that says anything yet. But I do agree that we can't make these a 1, 9 pair.
Can you have the double sandwich where both sides are equal to 9?
We can definitely do that, but not if these are a 1, 9 pair. Because if these are a
Yeah,
1, 9 pair, we've made a
I was just
single
making sure.
single cell one. But yeah, we
But they
certainly,
still
this
both work with
is
one.
a very good candidate for a double sandwich where both of the, or sorry, whatever, double sandwich where both of them
Yeah.
are 9.
Yeah. A blue sandwich.
Okay, got it. So what Selena says is, I've said two things, which are that these two cells are not a 1, 9 pair, and either these are both 1 or these are both 1. And so the consequence of those together is that neither of these is 9, because one of them is 1, and so if one of them is 1 and they can't be a 1, 9 pair, then they can't have a 9 in them at all. And so the consequence of that is that that cell is gray, because this would be a 9 if that was yellow, which then yellows that cell as well, sort of marching upward because of the string of 3 there.
Makes sense. like the last one, which is a lot of work for one gray and one yellow spell.
Yes, yes. They're definitely making us work hard for this one.
Marching on.
Uh,
And we have a Z Wing on the 9s and B1 and 3.
yeah. So one of these two is a 9, although I don't think that does anything because we already know where the 9 is in box 2.
Yeah.
But we certainly know where these 9s are.
Okay. Does normal
But
Sudoku rules
this is
other
definitely a
than
single
one?
sum row. Is Paul Fly's point? Sorry, you normal
Okay.
Sudoku rules what?
So in a row or column, only one 9 can appear.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Correct.
in a box, only one 9. So we do know that I don't know how helpful this is, but in box 6, we know where the 9s are.
All right. In
Not
box
particularly
6,
helpful, I
one of these
guess.
cells is a 9.
Yeah,
And it's not that one because we have corner marked 9s over there.
makes sense.
Uh, uh,
R2 is red X FWIW.
yeah, the red X is just my way of denoting that this is a single sum because we know one of these is a 9 now, is the point.
Yeah,
Uh, because of the way that these two ended up working.
makes sense.
Uh,
I mean, some people are helping and some people are talking amongst themselves. I can't figure out which
it's
one's
10
which.
sum to the right of row 1, column 5, no matter what. So there is a crust in row 1, column 7 or 8. Uh, that is
Which means
a very good spot. Okay, so this row has a lot of things that could be happening. One is that it could be a club sandwich where there's sort of a 1 over here and then a 9 in the middle and then more stuff. But in
Mhm.
that case, there's still a 1 over here. Or it could be a one-way sandwich, but if it's a one-way sandwich, the last 1 is still over here.
Still over there.
And so what J40's point means is that one of these two is the third yellow for this box, so these are both gray.
Not that makes sense.
Regardless,
That's smart.
I agree with that. So yeah, so one of these is 1, I suppose, is a way to cast that. Uh, let's see. Does putting a 1 in row 1, column 8 break row 1? Daniel asked. So if we put a 1 here, then we'd have to put the other 1 here, and these would have to be a 3-cell sum to 10 that included a 1. So that'd have to be 145, 136, or 127. And they wouldn't be 136 because there's no 3 in the puzzle. But I don't think it breaks.
At least not yet.
Yeah, at least not yet. Right. Okay. So so Paul Fly's pointing out that we know the cells outside the sandwich in this row sum to 8, and so this cell either is 8 if that's the crust, or this is a 2-cell sum to 8. And remember, there's no 3s in the puzzle, and I can't use 1 in the 2-cell sum to 8. So my 2-cell sum to 8 would have to be 2, 6. And so this cell is always either 6 or 8, because it can't be 2 from down there. And so this cell is always 2 or 9, if we want to sort of continue that deduction. But I don't quite know what to do with it yet. Annoyingly, this can still be 1. Let's see. Got our 0 clue over here, our 23 clue. And we do have to keep in mind that even in unclued columns, we have to worry about what happens if we separate my 1 and 9, or if I put the 9 between two ones. So there's definitely a 1 in one of these two cells, and there's definitely a 9 in one of these two cells. So unless I put a 1 between them, this column is going to have a club sandwich, which is the sort of fancy restricted kind. But I don't see any reason why I can't put the extra 1 over there. But if I do put a 1 here, this column definitely has the 9 between two ones.
Makes sense.
Which is dangerous.
But we know where the last gray is in that column, right?
The last gray is in that column.
Underneath the 2 9s. That has to be gray. It can't be a 1 or a 9.
Why can't this one be a 1?
I don't know.
I think annoyingly, I think it can be a 1.
Okay.
Let's see. Plonk time suggests the 34 clue might force a 9 to this, because we have to make sure that this clue doesn't get too large. Although, boy, it seems difficult for that to be the case without... or it seems difficult to do that without any pencil marks in box 5 at all. But it is true that 34 is a very small sum for all the digits along this diagonal to have.
One of everything we can do, if that's helpful.
But I don't quite see what to do with it yet. Let's see. Carl is asking basically where the 9 in column 6 goes. The 9 in column 6 certainly doesn't go in one of those cells. So can the 9 go here, for example? And the answer is I don't think the 9 can go there, because I would need to do a 3-digit sum to 23, which isn't going to work. I don't think the 9 in this column can go here either, because I would be forced again to do a 3-digit sum to 23. The 3-digit sum to 23, including a 1, no less. So here, I would be forced to do a 4-digit sum to 23, but that sum needs to include a 1, or it's not going to work. So I think actually the 9 in this column, I think Carl is right. I think it can only actually go in one of these two cells. Okay. People can double check my math on that. But I think that's right, because the sandwich sum to 23 needs to include a 1. And so even 4 cells is too small for the sandwich, because of the including a 1 part. Let's see.
Column 5 is in row 4 or 5.
So yeah, so the 9 here is in one of these two cells. I concur with that assessment. Now that's going to make the 15 sum tight. If I put the 9 here, then I'm going to have to go up and make this 9168, I think is what I'm going to have to do in order to get to 15. And here I'm going to have to go 9 down and go 168 on the inside, because 3 is the absolute maximum number of cells that I can put in a sandwich, given the not in the column, given the 9 is in one of these, and one of them has to be a 1. Oh, the 15 in the row is worse, right? If I put the 9 here, that just breaks this row into oblivion, because now I have to make a 2-cell sum to 15 where one of the cells is a 1. So that is not a 9, and that is not a 9. Therefore, so both of these are 9. Okay, that seems like progress.
Reasonable deduction. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
okay, so now in this column, we now know where the 1 goes. At least this cell now has to be a 1 in this column because, again, I need a 3-cell sum to get to my 15, given that it includes a 1. So this cell's a 1, which then places the 9 in this row, given our green pencil markage from before, as that, which makes that gray, makes all of this gray. Makes that not 1 and that not 9. And these are both gray now. So these are both yellow, regardless of what order they go in. Okay, so that was huge. That observation about the 23 sum was by Carl, sort of did a ton of damage with everything else that we had put in. And so remember that we know the sum because we have a 1 in here with a 6 and an 8. So these have to be 1, 6, 8. And we know that these are gray because remember the 1 is inside the sum because this is a single sandwich, not a double sandwich. We have a 1, 6, 8 triple, which is not enough within this row. Funnily enough. Okay.
Selena says we might know how R7 works, and I think they have a point. It has to be a double, right? At least it feels like it does.
Right. So yeah, so Selena's point is if this is a 9 and a 1, then we've said that 0 is equal to the sum of all of these digits. Yeah, which does not does not sound good. So that's a 9 and that's a 1. Okay, and so now well, that places this 9, but also it has given us an actual, for the first time in the puzzle, an actual club sandwich with a sum that's not 0. So this is a 2. This assuredly must be gray, because otherwise this would also be a 2. But now what we're saying is this digit is the sum of the gray digits that come before the 1 in this column, which means I need to make sure the 1 in this column certainly isn't there, because it would say these 4 digits are the sum of this one, so that's got to be gray. But I think even there is a problem, because if I put the 1 here, these sum to a minimum of 2, 3, 4, but this can't be a 9. So, in fact, actually, the 1 is here.
There. Cute.
Okay, and I know one of these is a 1 for the column, because at most one of these is a 1. Mm-hmm. Right? At most one of these is a 1, because there's 2 yellows here. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, never mind. Paul Fly points out it's not 2, 3, 4, it's 2, 4, 5. Right. 4, 5. This is a 6, by the way, because
Selena, I just saw that before,
so that is not a 6.
Column 3. Column 3, we know where the 1 goes. It has to be above the 9.
Right. 0 is equal to 0, because this is a club sandwich, but it's a very easy club sandwich to fill in. So all of that is gray, which makes that yellow, which finally lets us fill in our 191 over here.
That defines our other 191
that makes 0. That 191, which makes that gray and that a yellow one.
That defines our gray
as well. Okay, so now I do have to actually make these sum to 10, and there's only 2 ways to sum to 10 in this puzzle, which are 2, 8, and 4, 6, because I can't do 1, 9, and I can't do 3, 7, because there's not a 3 in the puzzle. And so the outies are not 4, 5. The outies are 7 and 5. 5, 7. There we go. 5, 7. So these are a 5 and 7. Okay, this column's crusting is done. Uh,
Row 4's crusting is done as well.
row 4's crusting is done as well.
How do we get those to equal 9? That's 3, 4, and 2, 7?
2, 7, and 4, 5, right? Because I can't do 3,
Yeah.
6.
Oh,
Because
I
yeah,
said
okay,
5,
yeah. So
4, but
2,
yeah.
7, and 4, 5. Yep. Those are the only options. So these outies are not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. And because of that 6, we actually know the order. Because of that. Okay, so that is a 6. Okay. Yeah, I know one of these is a 1 and one of these is a 1 for whatever it is worth.
Very helpful.
Okay. And let's just go check our rows. This one's definitely not an interesting one. This one is a club sandwich, and this one's a club sandwich. So that this one being a club sandwich is interesting because it says these three have the same sum as these two, which tells us the parity of this digit. But boy, do I not want to work that hard for it.
I don't think we'll have to.
Hopefully not. Either that or chat will just tell me what parity this digit is, and then I won't have to think about it. Yeah, we have our 168 quad in this column. Because remember, we've got 1 1, and there's an extra 1, and then there's a 6 and an 8. So this isn't 6 or 8.
That can't be it. Yeah.
So this isn't 2 or 4. Let's see. 3 people in chat say even. So I'm just going to write in 468 and believe it.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you, chat. Oh, right. These 3 digits sum to 15 with a 1. People are pointing out, and so they have to be 168 is the only way to do it. So actually, these
Also,
are a 168 quad as well.
9, 3 can't be a 2, so it, which means the next to it can't be a 7 in box 4, because there's already a 2 in box 4. Right?
What? Oh, are you saying that can't be a 2?
No, I mean, yes, now, but I didn't see that one. In row 4, column 3. That can't be a 2.
Oh, right, because there's a 2 in the box. So that's
Yeah.
not a 7. Got it.
Cool. I helped.
Okay. And then so the rest of this row is now
4, 5, or 7.
2, 4, 5, 7, right?
Yeah. Except
these
we know
are
the 2s
2.
can't be in there.
So one of these is 2, so that can't be 2 either. And so that can't be 7. And one of these 2 actually is 2 for the box. So when I go to mark this, they can't be 1, can't be 2, can't be 3 because there's not a 3 in the puzzle. 4, 5,
6, 7.
And not
4, 5,
6 because
6,
we've used
7.
that, and then 7.
Oh, yep. Yeah, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, and so one of those 2 is 7 for whatever that is worth. Probably not anything yet.
2, 6 pair in box 3.
Yep, 2, 6 hidden pair. Lakia points out because these 2 can't be 2 and 6, so therefore these are 2 and 6. Oh, also these are gray. Martin points out. Important note: 4, 5, and 7 are all gray digits. So these are a pair of something and something. 4 and 8, I believe, if I did that right. So this is not a 2 or a 4. Oh, seemingly this is just a 2, which was placed even before. I just quarter-marked the 2 rather than looking down, but good enough. So one of these is now a 4 for the row because I've got my 4, 5, 7 triple and the 4 is over here. So this can't be a 4, so that can't be a 5. Let's see. Oh, that 2, 6 pair looks down and says that's not a 6. Uh, if this is a 7, this column seems broken. Because if this is a 7, then this is a sum of 15, and I need to make these sum to 15 in 2 digits, but I can't because neither 6, 9 nor 7, 8 work. So this can't be a 7, actually.
Smart.
So that's not the
Which
2.
means...
So that is the 2, and that's the 7.
Uh-huh. That one
So
means we
4,
also know the
5 looks over
7
there, making
in...
that a 7 and a 5 and a 7.
Oh.
Apparently, we have a box with more than one 8, but I haven't seen which box it is as of yet.
More
but
than one 8? No, we don't.
Oh, it's because the 8 in row 5. Right. The point in chat is that the 8 in this quadruple is here. So because we only have one 1 left. So this can't actually be an 8 without making 2 1s. So
well,
this will be a 1. That is what chat is talking about.
And 7 goes... We know 7 is one of 2 boxes in column 7.
2 boxes in column 7. Column 7.
Yeah, there. Those 2.
Oh, yes. 7 is only here, right?
It could be... Yes. Yeah, it's only there.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't see the 7 in that box above it. But yeah.
Well noted. So if this is a 4 here, then the sum is 12, and that'll be a 5. And if this is a 5 here, then the sum is 13, and that'll be a 6, but it can't be. So that is a 5, because there's a 6 there Sudoku-logically. Making that a 4 and a 5. Making that an 8. I guess I could have just said there's never, under no conditions, is the 8 anywhere but there, but close enough.
Makes
sense. So we've got all of that going on. Oh, this...
finish that box. Don't leave. Finish the box.
Oh, yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goes there, seemingly.
Get rid of the 5, so you have a 4-7 pair in that row.
Ah, yes, these are a 4-7 pair.
Clean up right. A bit.
Oops. Or alternatively, they're both non-yellow 9s. You take your pick.
All the 9.
Yes, all the 9s. It was a surprise to all of us. The day the 9s took over.
The day the 9 stood still.
Indeed. Okay, so this digit is either a 6 or a 7 based on whether it's 2 plus 4 or 2 plus 5. So let's write 6, 7 in there. Oh, but it's not a 7 because there's a 7 in this column, and it's in fact there exactly. Just by looking and asking the question, where is 7 in this column?
7 go here.
So therefore that's a 4, and that's a 5, and that's a 4.
1, 2 doesn't have that 6 in there anymore.
That does not have a 6 in it anymore, right? So that does not have a 4 in it anymore. So it's just a 2 or a 6.
Yes.
In fact, that 4 looks up as well. So that actually makes that an 8 and a 2 and a 4 and a 6.
Which puts a 6. Beautiful.
So we now have done more damage. 5 and 8 go into this box, Daniel points out. Let's see. This row still needs 4 and 5, it looks like. And I somehow don't think I know which one is which.
You can get rid of the 8. One of the 8s in box. What is that, 5?
Box 5.
One of the pencil marked. I'm sorry, pencil mark 6.
Pencil mark 6s. There we go. That can't be a 6 because there's a 6 in the column now.
Yes.
So we've got that. Let's see. Nicholas encouraging us to go wild in this box. So 4, 5, 6, 7 is what's left, but these can't be 7 or 5. So these can't be 4 or 6. So we've got
go
all
to
of that.
Box 8. I'm good at this. Column 9, row 5. That's a 7. That one right there
is a 7. How do we know this is a 7?
It can't be 2. It can't be 5. It can't be 6. So then 7, 8 is the only one that can't be 8. It has to be 7. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so it's not 1 or 9. It's not 6 or 8. It's not 2 or 5. And it's not 4. Yep, naked single 7. Well spotted.
Thanks.
So these 2 left are a 4 and a something. 4 and a 6, I believe. Oops.
Yeah.
Let me fill them in correctly and not incorrectly. This must be
Nope.
4, 5, or
It's
6.
4 and then 6. Sorry, it's not 4, 6. It's 4 and then
right. 4 and then 6 because of that 6. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So this must be 4 or 5 and can only be a 5 because of that over there. That
Which gives
4
us the
looks over
5.
and makes that a 5.
Yes.
These are 2, 6, and 8.
2.
I believe. The 2 looks down there, so actually that's a 2. Oh, that 4 looks up and switches our 7 and 4 up there while we are doing that sort of thing. This is a pair of digits that include a 2 and something else.
2, 5.
2, 5. Good. Okay. And now... if this is a 1... Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, I was going to say something silly. Oh, this has to be a 1 for this column. Because the digits in this column that are outside the sandwich need to sum to 10. So that needs to be a 1 because these already sum to 10. So I think this needs to be a 1 because 23 is 10 less than 33 is effectively the point. So this needs to be a 1, which makes that gray. Don't know if I know anything about this digit yet. It looks like it can be just about anything in the world. I guess it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 actually. So I guess it's only 7 or 8, I think. Yes. Now it's probably time to remember that this 34 diagonal is here, because almost assuredly this is going to resolve things. Okay, so those two add to 10, 20, 22, 23. So therefore, 24. There we go. So therefore, these two need to add to 10.
6 and 2.
And so it has to be 8 and 2. Right. So 8
Good
and
math,
2. Good. Okay, so this is now 1. This is now
6.
gray. So that is a 6. This became gray earlier, actually. So
that is...
that 2 looks over and makes that a 5 and a 2, which makes that a 7 and a 5.
But gray you just made was 8.
The gray I just made is 8. Excellent. So that's a 4 and an 8. That is a 7.
7. And then 6 to the left, 4 underneath that, and that gives us the bet tree of
6 to the left. Oh, right. Sorry. That 4 sees that 6 and that 4. That 2 sees that that's a 6.
Oh, right.
Let's look down. There's the 6 and the 8, and the bet tree
and a 1
seems to be a 1. So congratulations to all the 1 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. That was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be from the rule set. I will admit the swapping back and forth between the two kind of sandwiches really did my head in. I have to say, this is reminiscent actually of Kodak made a sandwich puzzle last year sometime that I think might have been like the thing that most confused me, because it was like the sandwiches were ambiguous. Was it ambiguous between whether this sum was between 1 and 9 or between 8 and 9? I think that one stood out, and this had very much the same energy of, wait, how does that work again? And me wanting to gray things because they were between 1 and 9, but they could be the extra 1 or whatever. Anyway, we have one more Sortadoku puzzle left. But before we do the one more Sortadoku puzzle, we're going to take a quick break and stretch. But we will be back in just a moment with more Sortadoku. So I will see you all shortly. Welcome back, everyone. We have one puzzle left to finish up our Sortadoku challenge. I have to say, this has been one of my favorite challenges in terms of the puzzles that people have given us. There's been some very, very cool stuff floating around. Also, MicroStudy would like to apologize in advance for the final step of this puzzle, which is terrifying. So we will see we'll see what happens. So we need to place digits 1 through 9 into the grid such that no digit repeats in each row, column, and 2x2 box. Each 2x2 box can share at most 2 digits with another 2x2 box. Oh, I tried to make that something like that work once at some point. Like in the original version of vignettes, I tried a bunch of variations of that idea that I could never get to work. So let's see how MicroStudy made it work. So each 2x2 box has at most 2 digits shared with another 2x2 box. Okay. Standard variant rules apply. So here are our variants. So these mean black dots mean one is double the other. So 5 would be a very poor choice. 4 and 8, for example. These need to be consecutive. So 5 and 6, for example. These need to alternate in high, mid, lowity. So for this, you need a 1, 2, 3, a 7, 8, 9, and a 4, 5, 6, and it needs to go in a pattern. So if this is 1, 2, 3, this is also 1, 2, 3.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so this is a slightly weird thing, but basically these two are the same high, mid, lowity, and these two are the other high, mid, lowity. This is our purple line from earlier, so it needs to be 4 consecutive digits. This is a 10 line, so it needs to be comprised of 1 or more strings of digits that sum to 10. So either this is 1, 2, 3, 4, or it's two pairs of digits that sum to 10, but we don't know which one yet. This is a whisper. So digits along here need to differ by 5 or more. So if this is a 7, for example, these would have to be a 1 and a 2 in some order, because those are the only digits that are at least 5 away from 7. And then this is a modular line. And so these work exactly like entropic lines, except instead of the nice intuitive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this is with the keypad columns 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, and 3, 6, 9 are what these are. So it is the columns instead of the rows of the keypad. So it's the same thing, but turned 90 degrees. Selena, this is the last submission to the Sortadoku challenge. So it just so happened that for the Sortadoku challenge, a number of people submitted puzzles that were less than 9 by 9, which I appreciated, as opposed to getting a bunch of 16 by 16s, which fortunately I did not get any.
Oh, I'm doing that 16s. Next time.
Yeah, you're going to submit a 16 by 16.
Yeah,
you could probably get away with it. Let's see.
Because I'm cute.
So, You very much are. Every time you're on the stream, someone messages me to tell me. But I won't say which famous setter it is that always messages me to tell me how cute you are. Okay, so 16 by 16 samurai. I will say, I don't think anyone submitted a puzzle that involved putting more than 1 digit in a cell this time. We've had several that involved putting no digits in cells. But I don't think, unless I'm misremembering, that anyone did something
like the cell is both 1 and 2 at the same, like a Schrodinger cell.
Right.
Oh, I love that. I hate it, but I love it.
There have been a number of Schrodinger cell puzzles. I have a couple that are probably among my more well-known puzzles. But I was expecting there was probably going to be something where someone wanted you to put 3 digits in a cell or something like that. But I did not. I did not get it. I once tried to set a puzzle where the rule was you had to put the digits 1 through 9 in every row, column, and box, but you could leave any number of boxes empty, and each box or each cell could contain any number of them. So you could have 1 through 9 in one cell, and then the rest of the box be empty. But I never quite got it to work in an interesting, satisfying way. So sometime when I want to be mean to Simon, I'll set it.
There you go.
Alrighty. So now we get to adventure into this world. Uh, so what on earth are we meant to take out of the nothing can share more than 2 digits? So first of all, although it's ridiculous, I'm going to note that these cells are all either from 1248 or 36. Because those are the only digits that can go on black dots. And I'm going to try and figure out the fact that these two don't share more than 2 digits. I think that means that we have to do something with 3 6s. Otherwise, we're going to run into problems, right? It is true. Right. I can make my life a lot easier by noticing that neither of these can have 3 6s in them. However, this 1248, both of these need to contain 2 and 4, which means that 2 and 4 are the two shared digits for these boxes. So I can't have any other shared digits between these. Yeah, one must be. Yeah, these aren't 1 or 8. Yeah, and so it must be that one is 124 and one is 248. I agree with Curb on there. I'm trying to convince myself that that means that this is 3 6. But I can't convince myself it has to be 3 6 yet. But I feel like it has to be.
Daxter said something about a 4-6 can't go on a German whisper.
That's true. A 4 or a 6 here would. So a 4 here, the joke is a 4 is only 5 away from 9. So both of these would be 9. And as weird as this puzzle is, I'm not allowed to do that. And the same thing is true with 6, except with 1
ones.
The other way around.
Got it.
Cool. So I'm almost certain that means this is a 3, but I haven't yet understood how it means that.
Intuition. That's all you need.
Okay, so the Renban at least now can't have 2 and 4 on it. And it's length 4, so that means it can't have any digit less than 3 on it. So let's go ahead and note that means it's from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And in particular, it definitely has a 6 on it, because if I'm picking 4 consecutive digits out of those, then I need a 6, or it doesn't work. Okay. So I don't know anything about 6s yet.
Selena, the Renban can have 2 and 4 because each box can only share 2 numbers with another.
Maybe I'm misinterpreting that rule. I think I read that rule wrong. I think I was interpreting that each pair of digits uniquely paired, but it could be that all of these share 2, 4. Now I don't think that'll work if we think about it carefully, but I think naively it's possible that all 3 of these share 2 and 4. Okay. So we've got that. Right, we can do stuff like this cell can't be 4, so these can't be 8. And again,
same thing.
This can't be 4, so these two can't be 8. But that 1, 2, 3 lets us sort of say that because of the way these things alternate high and low, these digits both have to be from 7, 8, 9, and this also has to be from 1, 2, 3. Because when you differ by at least 5 from 1, 2, 3, you get to 7, 8, 9. Unless you get to 6, but you can't get to 6 for reasons aforementioned.
Yeah.
Okay. It's being pointed out that this being a 1 is problematic for a somewhat complicated reason, which is that if this is 1, then these are both 2, which places a 2 there, except the 2 then needs to have a 1 in one of these two cells, but we began this by hypothecating a 1 here, so this cell's never a 1.
Yes, that makes sense.
Also, these
Is
can't be
hypothecating a
1
word?
because that can't be 2. So same is true over here. These can't be 1 because that can't be 2. Sorry,
And
what
that
about
can't be 1?
hypothecating?
Just the square you're on. That can't be 1, first of all.
Yep, this can't be 1 by the same logic.
Okay. That's a word, hypothecating. Strange.
I think hypothecating is a word, or hypothecated at least. I think is the right word. Okay. This is a 3. These are an 8 and 9. I still feel like the point is these are going to have to be a 3-6 pair, but I can't for the life of me understand why yet. Oh, this can't be 2 because it can't connect to either 1 or 4. And so therefore this is a 3. I feel like we did this break in wrong. But we now have the 3-6. So let us, despite not doing the break in right, let us do it. Badoop badoop, wah, badoop badoop, wah,
Hanna-Barbera sketch. Just walked by.
badoop 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 badoop, woohoo! That penguin is more of a runway model sort of penguin than a dancing sort of penguin.
I was thinking like a Hanna-Barbera thing where, you know, like the characters run across and then like an opening to Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Anyways.
Okay, so
it made sense at the time.
So now this can't be 6 because then these would share 2, 4, and 6.
Okay.
And that means these both can't be 3. That's not 3, of course. That 3 means that's a 9 because this, remember, has to be in the same keyboard column as 3 and 6, and so it can only be 9.
Okay.
By magic.
Remember. Sure, yeah. I understood that in the first place to remember.
Oh yeah,
that.
definitely. It's a very intuitive rule set that that goes with everyone. Yes. If this is 1, 2, 4, 8, that's the easy way to do it. If I make this 1, 2, 4, 8, it definitely shares 3 digits with this. So that was the right way to do this break-in, and get the thing that I kept trying to say, which was that these needed to be 3, 6, was to just notice that if I made this 1, 2, 4, or 8, then that quad definitely shared 3 digits with that down there, and vice versa.
Okay.
That was the right way to do it. I felt like that had to be the thing I was trying to do, and I just could not for the life of me make it work. So we did this in this very weird way. Also, 3 doesn't go next to 7 on German Whispers. I don't know if you knew that, but it's true. So
easily pick that one up.
Yep. So 3 and 7 are too far away. Selena also discovered that. So now I'm concerned about 3 and 8 being in the same box with a 1 or a 2, but I don't think it's a problem.
Not by the rules given,
immediately.
It's the doubling thing, right?
What?
With the are you talking about the can't repeat more than 2 digits with another box?
Yeah, I was trying to avoid the combination where we can repeat 2, 8, and 3, but I think I don't think I can be worried about that yet. Yeah, so
you're right though. It can't be 1 and 2.
Now this box has 2, 3, and 4 in it. So this Renban can't have 2, 3, and 4 in it. That would be a triple. So that means everything in this box is at least 3. So we're back to where we were earlier, but now rigorously proven. Now that I understand the rules. And so the point is this box now definitely contains a 6 because otherwise I don't get to enough digits, and that 6 goes there. Just by Sortadoku.
Yep. But so you can't, since box 1 has a 3 and for sure a 2 in it, I don't think you can have a 2, 3 in box 6, if I'm understanding the rule. Like, I think that has to be a 1, right?
Could this be 2, 3 with this being 1, 2, 4? Wouldn't that then only share the 3 and the 4?
But no, because one has to be 8 and one has to be
Oh
9.
yeah, how
Oh,
did
okay,
I
no,
don't know
you're
how I removed a 9 from there.
fine.
Through magic, I've
Okay.
removed a 9 from here. So by the
But
way,
what does that mean for the okay, yeah.
this 6, by the way, tells me that this 10 line is a 6 and a 4. Uh, and then some other pair summing to 10. But 6 and 4 are in this box. So my other sum to 10 can't be 2, 8, because that would be another digit from this box. So it's either 1, 9 or 3, 7. I don't know which
Okay.
yet, but I'm going to go ahead and mark that just for sake of it. Okay, one of these is 1, 2, 4. I guess that doesn't quite tell me anything yet. Oh, it does. So there's an interesting thing going on with this white dot and this Renban, which is that this string. In fact, actually, all of these strings of 3 white dots and this Renban need to be careful because none of them can be contained in the other. Because if they do, then they'd overlap in 3 digits.
Okay.
Uh,
You can take your word for it.
Garion says these can't have 1, 2, 3, 4 on them. This sees a 2-4 pair. That's a good point. And this also sees a 2-4 pair because that 2-4 and that 2-4 are different. Because otherwise these would be the same triples.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So these are not 2 or 4. That is a good point. I don't know what to do with it though. Oh, there's also 4s in these 2 boxes. And so because there's a 4 there and a 4 here, there can't be any 4 in this box. And so these need to be from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
Which means they definitely contain a 7. Just by virtue of all of that. And this one's not 6 or 9. That one's not 6. If they do contain a 6, the 6 has to be exactly there. And if they don't contain a 6, they have to be 7, 8, 9 exactly.
Makes sense.
It is true. There's no 5 or 9 here for sure. Oops. No 5 or 9 here for sure because it's in the middle of this string. There's probably a little bit more I could do in terms of single digit eliminations if I really tried, but I'm not quite there yet. Because if this was an 8, Paul Fly points out this would go 8, 7, 6, and that would be bad. So this is actually 5 or 7, which means this is 6 or 8. Because
yeah,
because that's how dots work. And so
yes.
this is 5, 7, or 9. Okay. Let's see. Do I have a similar thing up here? I don't think that I do yet. I mean, I know that this can't be 2 or 4. That's certainly true. But I don't think I can do better than that yet. I mean, certainly I can't go like 1, 2 up here. Okay, so people want me to sort of like interrogate this cell carefully. So it's not 1 or 9 because those would both put the same digit in here twice. It's not 2 or 4 because it sees that same 2, 4 pair. And if it were 3, that would require a 2 and a 4, but then these two boxes would see 2, 3, 4. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8 at least. So these digits are all from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and these aren't 6. If this isn't 6, what on earth is this? Then this is 7, 8, 9 again. So if if this is not 6, then these are 7, 8, 9, which assuredly lets me note some like these can't be 4, for example. Because if they were 4, it would have to go 4, 5, 6, and that doesn't work because we have 6 sixes looking at both places. So in fact, this is actually from 5, 7, 8, 9, which this is also from 5, 7, 8, 9, which is very interesting because these need to not. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we need to not overlap in 2. In 3. I guess that's easy as long as they're different. It could be 7, 8, 9, I believe, Martin. There is definitely a 7 in it. I will concur with that. So the question is now, can I put a 9 on this Renban? So if this were 9, 8, 7, 6, then that would make this be forced to be 5, 6, 7. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6, 7. And now what is this going to be? Nothing. Because actually it would force, if this were 9, 8, 7, 6, it would force both of these to be 5, 6, 7, because both of them are from the same range. And I couldn't repeat too many of the digits. So this can't be a 9, I guess, is the point here. Oh yeah, this can't be 5 because there's no 6 next to it, and it can't be 7 because there's no 6 to it next to it. So this is 6 or 8. Yeah, this will make life easier if I do that. Because now we actually know that one of these is
the other one.
Yeah, these are a 6, 8 pair.
Yeah.
Okay, and so in particular, there's no way there's an 8 on this Renban, right? Because, maybe. But anyway, one of these does have to be 5, 6, 7. Because if neither of them had a 5, they would both be from 6, 7, 8, 9, and I can't choose 2 sets of 3 digits from 6, 7, 8, 9 without overlapping. No, wait, I don't think that's true. I think that's okay.
5, 6, 7.
But the point is, I know they start with an odd digit. So my only choices are that they're 5, 6, 7, and 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I was entertaining the possibility that it was 6, 7, 8, but 6, 7, 8 is just not Sudoku-logically one of the options that I am allowed to entertain for this. So one of them is 5, 6, 7, and one of them is 7, 8, 9. So in particular, I can't put a. Oh yeah, sorry, I could put a 3 on here, so it would be 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be okay. Or I could do 5. Oh, I can't do 5, 6, 7, 8, or I can't do 5, 6, 7, 8, because if I do 5, 6, 7, 8, then I break the 5, 6, 7. So 8 is out here, because an 8 here would clash with 5, 6, 7 in there.
Does the 7 clash?
And
with that
7
thing?
clashes too, because if I put a 7 here, it would be 7, 6, 5. And that would also clash with the one of those that's 5, 6, 7. So those are a 4, 5 pair, and that's a 3. Okay. Good. That seems helpful. So there's no 7 here anymore, because 7 adds to 10 with 3. And we can no longer have a 3 in here
Place a
by
3 on there.
Sudoku.
Makes sense.
And so these numbers are 149. So this is a 1469 kind of box. So 1, 4, and 6 don't go together over here. So I can't put a 1 on the black dot anymore over here, because that would be 1,
Okay.
4, and 6 together. So this is 2, 4,
Yeah.
8. There with a 2, 8 there. And so that means, remember, that this one is 2 with a 1, 4. So we've got that. Let's see. These are one of each keyboard column. Hooray.
So we've got the 258 or the 147.
These are either low or high. If they're both low, they have to be a 1, 3 pair. Do 1, 3, and 6 go together anywhere that would break? I don't think 1, 3, and 6 go together anywhere yet.
Not that I can see.
Uh,
I mean,
These
we've
were
got it all pretty
high.
lined out.
They would be like from 7, 8, 9, which I don't think there's any problem. Oh,
7, 8, 9.
there is a
has to be
problem with
one
these
or-
being a 1, 3 pair, which is
Oh,
that
yeah, 'cause
there's 3s below there. So these can't be low. They are high.
There's more than 2 things really confusing.
Right. Yeah, because just those 3s looking up. So these are high, which means that's certainly not a 9. And so this is either 7, 6, 5. So this is certainly not a 9 either, actually, because if that was a 9, it would go 9, 8, 7, and that would be a quadruple in the row of 7, 8, 9. And so that's a 5, 7 pair. 6 is the digit that goes between 5 and 7. And so now this down here is an 8 for similar reasons. So that gives me the 2 and the 8 and the 9 and the 8 and the 1. Oh, I didn't put 9s over here for whatever reason. There was supposed to be a 9 over there.
But still, that defines the rest of it.
4, 9, 4, 1, 5, 4. So we've got all of that, and that is 7 and 9. And so this needs to be 1 or 2. Okay, so what can this be? Not 1, can be 2, not 3, not 4, 5, not 6, 7, not 8, not 9. Oh, it can't be 7, actually. So this is 2 or 5. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, not 6. Sorry, 6 is already done. 7. Okay.
Micro study is witching us luck, by the way.
So this is a 1 or a 7, just Sudoku-logically, which is in the keypad with 1 and 7. So this is just a 5 by modular lines. And now we don't have to think about modular lines anymore, which is fabulous. The bet tree I'm going to go ahead and pencil, despite it being blasphemy, and note that it can be 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and can be 9. So the bet tree is 1 or 9. Let's see. And so now we are in scanning hell. These boxes share 8 and 9. These can't both be 2 at the same time.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with it, but I'm going to note it. Let's see.
What's an opposite way you could put colors? So we could see that they can't be the same.
Box
normally
2
it's like these are the same, but
needs a 7. Why does it need a 7? What box are we clashing with if we don't put a 7 here? Uh,
Would be 8, 9,
yeah,
8,
these
9,
would be 8 and
6.
9.
I don't see a box with 8, 9, and 6.
Box 6.
Box 6 is 8, 9, and
Why
that's
couldn't I just
fine.
make these 1-2s different in that universe? Uh,
Yeah.
I think I could make those 1-2s different in that universe. Uh, let's see. So yeah, I think this is going to be entirely about the you can't make these two things true at the same time kind of entanglement.
I think box, what is that? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, box 8, box 6, and box 2 all have some sort of like relation together that I think is important somehow.
uh,
You make that 7, that becomes 8. You could still be
yeah, if this is a
uh
7, that forces this to be a 2. Oh, is this going to break if I just fill in this being 7? Because that forces this to be a 2 to avoid clashing with this box. But if this is 7, now these need to have
8.
an 8. Uh,
Still be 7 or 9. But I think the 1 or 2 now. Separate. So that box is 7.
uh,
No. 8, 9.
let's see. So should I just
Try
like
the other way.
highlight
Place a
7,
1
8,
in there.
9s? So I think 7, 8, 9s are where all of my
Yeah.
pressure is. So I'm going to just highlight in yellow all the 7, 8, 9s. There's half a 7, 8, 9 in one of those two cells. Uh, so uh, so uh, and so like this cell and this cell are the could also be 7, 8, 9s. Uh, so and we've got again another thing where if this is a 9, it forces that to be a 2. So if the bet tree is a 9, this has to be a 2. Uh, uh,
And if that's a
Paul Fly
2,
donates, saying, thanks for the amazing challenge and thanks to all the setters for the amazing puzzles. Thank you, Paul Fly. Let's get you a donation dance. Woohoo! Woohoo! Thank you so much, Paul Fly. Greatly appreciated. And yeah, this has been a really cool challenge. I have greatly enjoyed all of the puzzles that we have gotten to do for this.
my mind has been fully melted just by these 3 puzzles. So thanks. Oh.
Okay. So box 2 has 2 of 7, 8, 9 in common with box 7.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if you make that tree 9,
right,
and that
okay.
becomes 2, that has to be a 1 there.
So these two can't be the same 1, 2 is the point. Because if they were the same 1, 2, then wait, let me try and articulate this again. So these two match there, these two match over there.
Mm-hmm.
And now why is it bad if these are the same 1, 2?
Because they clash with the corner one.
The corner one.
Because that's 7, 8, or 9. And so if that's a 2, then you're matching with 2, 8, 9 in that one. But if that's a 2, you can't do a 2 in the other. So if the corner is 2, the other 2 have to be 1. But then that defines
I believe that, yeah. So I think
7.
if that's 2, these both have to be 1.
Yes.
And
if that's 1, what does that mean for our box 8? That's 1, 9. That's probably fine. Oh, and
Oh, if
5.
these are 2,
That would be 9.
both of these are 1, and now this box breaks.
Yes.
Because if this is 2, these both have to be 1, which makes this a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Wait, why is that? So that's just 9 and 7. Maybe that's okay. Sorry, maybe that's actually okay. Maybe 9 and 7 are okay down here. Uh,
9.
it's almost there. Uh,
I know we need like a pencil.
uh, yeah, there is a weird sort of like triple thing trying to happen here. Where
7.
these so something weird is happening here because these need to be uh not uh I need one of these two to be a 1, I think is what I'm trying to say. If
Yes.
neither of these is a
And
1, then these boxes share 5, 7, and 9. So one
so
of
now,
these
yeah.
two cells is a 1 for sure.
And remember when we were talking about
Uh,
the 7 originally, you said that had to be a 2, which is going to define the other 2, now that we know that linkage. And how does that work with the 7, 8, 9 in box 2? There's a lot of 2s there, sorry.
uh, so yeah, how does
Can I
this
do
work with
my
box
pen?
2 is your question. So one of these is a 1.
Yes.
So if this one's a 1, that's a 2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a 1, does that do anything anywhere in the grid?
What about
Uh,
the 2, 5 here?
oh, this just can't be a 1 because of this box.
1, 3,
If
9.
this is a 1, we'd have 1, 3, and 9 in this box. No, sorry.
No. Yeah. But that
So
would
if
make,
this is a
if this is
1,
the
that
1,
makes that a
this makes a
2.
2. This has to be a 2 then.
Uh,
A 2. My very ugly 2. Right? Which would make this a 5 down here. My very ugly 5. That's what we said, is those two have to share. So then make this a 5. So then we have 5, 7, and 9. So that would mean this one would have to be a 1. Can that happen?
as far as I can tell, but I may well have lost track of what
Okay,
all we were filling
that's
in
fair.
there.
I will keep my marker set then. Okay, so we said if this is 9, 3, if we make this a 1, this has to be a 2. Then this has to be a 2. And this has to be a 5. And then
Wait,
this
why did this one
has
have to be a 2?
We had decided these have to be equal at some point in time.
I don't think I ever believed that. I think chat believed that, but I didn't understand. Actually, I think chat claimed these had to be different, not that they had to be equal.
I thought they had to be equal.
Uh,
Okay, well, let's start that over. This is 7. We know that 7, right? So we've got 1, 3, 7. Where did that or I'm sorry, 1, 9, 3. So this has to be 2. We know that one for sure. Okay. Now,
so yeah, so wait, you're saying if this is a 7, that's a 2?
yes. So that's a 2.
Wait, why if this is a 7 does that have to be a 2?
No, I'm sorry. If that's that was supposed to be a 1, I think.
Okay.
So we make this one a good one. Go look at that beautiful one. Oh yeah, can you use corner marking for our bifurcated? That's probably going to be easier than
I mean, I could just mark the spot where we bifurcated and just fill it in. So if I fill in a 7 here,
yes,
then that seems to be an 8 now. So
9,
now these share 7 and 9, so that becomes a 2.
Yep. And now that shares 8.
Now
No,
that
there's
shares those two 7, 8, and 9s share in this box, so that 2 makes that a 1.
must be a 1.
Now that has made the
Now
bet tree
8,
a 9.
8, 3, 8, 9. What am I doing? This can't be 2 because we have this and this. So that has to be a 1.
Yes, that
8,
has
9,
to be
2,
a
8, 9,
1.
2.
Box 3 and 8
8.
clash, I'm being told.
3 and 8.
7
So we have
and
9.
9. All I
Then
see in
5.
common is 7
7,
and
9, and
oh,
5.
7, 5, and 9. Oh, yep. So these clash. Okay.
So we can't do 7 here. This has to be 1. So go all the way back. We've proven that. That's
so we have proven that this is a 1.
And 195 leads us to what? 191 or 3. So
okay.
93. This can't be a 1 now. This has to be a 2 here.
Because if that was a 1,
9, 3,
they
1,
would share
9,
3, and 1. Right. So yeah, so that's a 2.
8,
And now
9.
8
This
and
has
9
to be a
are shared,
5.
so that has to be a 5. Yep.
So we knew that these weren't the same. Love this.
Okay. We still can't do 5, 7, 9, right? So yeah, we've got 5 and 7 in common down here, so this can't be a 9.
This has to be a 1.
It has to be a 1,
okay.
which makes that
which
a
makes
2.
This a 2. See, I told you these had to be the same.
Had to be the same. Yeah, I thought chat was claiming it had to be different. Maybe I misunderstood what was happening.
I said they had to be the same. I'm right.
So
2, 6.
Okay, 2
5,
and
7.
6. Yeah.
That doesn't rhyme. Sorry, chat. This is too much, so I'm sure we'd be paying attention more. But
2 and 6 are shared between these, so there's no 8 up
6.
here. So those are 7 and 9.
That makes sense.
And that is 5, and that
5.
is 7.
Whew. Oh god, that hurt.
Okay, that was great so right up until the last step, and then the last step.
Microstudy why?
The last step may have been punishment for something I did in a past life. But other than that part, that was a delightful journey through that. I enjoyed that. I definitely like to see more exploration of this kind of idea. I think this is fun. Alrighty. Oops.
That one Nabber step in the one puzzle.
Punishing you for that one Nabner step in that one puzzle. The one in the white dot one, Cascade. There's one in Cascade that a lot of people were not fond of, although almost everyone who did the puzzle found a different way to do it than the way that I did it. But I will say absolutely no one was happy when they asked what I had in mind and I told them. Beauty Mark didn't have anything in it that was that bad, did it? Maybe. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna take a quick break and then we can come back and do some 6x6s maybe to wrap up, having gotten our brains thoroughly done in by these puzzles. So let me take a quick break and stretch, and then we'll figure out something to do when we get back. All right, see you shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're going to do a slightly gentler puzzle after the previous one. Uh, and so we have here a uh, arrow killer puzzle by Doomed Yacht. And so in cages, remember you can't repeat digits, which is a weird, unnatural rule, but it is the way it is. So we have that rule. Plus, our arrows need to sum to the digit in the circle. So if I make this a 9, I have to make these sum to 9, like 4 and 5 or something like that.
Okay.
So we have a couple given cages. So 10 and 4 has to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And 11 and 4 has to be 1, 2, 3, 5. Those are just the only ways that you can make those. And the sixes, one of them has to be 1, 5, and one of them has to be 2, 4. I feel like that came up in the very first puzzle that we did today. Ways to make 6 in a sum of 2 digits.
Oh, it did. Okay. I sort of remember that.
And so one thing I see is that this cell sees all of these digits 1, 2, 3, 4. And so this digit is at least 5. So it can be 5, 6, 7, 8. That means this can be 6, 7, 8, or 9. This can be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Just looking at that. Now, chat has a very smart spot about this arrow. which is that we've eaten up the 1, 2, 4, and 5 in this box. So the minimum that this arrow can possibly be is 3 and 6.
3, 6.
And those already add
9?
to 9. Excellent. So that is a 9. And we can do our 9 dance. Boop-boop-a-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-a-doop. Wah! Ba-doop-a-doop. Wee!
He did a front flip. He's talented.
Waha! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So I'm noticing that this can't be 4, 5, for the somewhat funny reason that if this is 4, 5, this 6 cage is 1, 2, and those don't add to 6 as much as they could. So this can't be 3, 6, or 4, 5. So this is either 1, 8, or 2, 7, and the same is true of this one. They can't be 3, 6 because it would break that cell. And
Makes
now there's always a 1 or 2 here, and there's always a 1 or a 2 here. So that's
But
all the
that
1, 2s for the column. So these can't
finds
be
a
1,
3,
2
4.
anymore. So those are 3, 4, and these are 1, 2. And the same is true in this row. One of these is 1, 2. One of these is 1, 2. So that's all the 1, 2s. So we get our 1, 2s over here. Oh, and then that actually pays off with whichever of these pairs I want, resolving that cell. We've got both a 3, 4 and a 3, 5, looking at that cell, making it a 6 and a 3. Let's see. So we've got just a 7, 8, 9 left in this box. Nothing else
Easy peasy.
left.
What does that mean for the arrow in box 9?
What does that mean for the arrow in box 9? Let's see. So
We have
this
a lot of constraints.
digit
There's a
is
3,
at least a
5 pair.
4. And if it's not a 4, then it's got to be at least a 6. And this digit can't be 7, 8, or 9, because if this was 7, 8, or 9, the circle would also be 7, 8, or 9, and we'd have 4 7, 8s, or 9s in the row.
Yeah.
So you're right. So this is restricted to 4 or 6. And this can't be 5. This is 6, 7, 8, or 9. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, are all still annoyingly possible for this. I did notice the 20 cages force, by the way. I don't know if you've seen this, by the way, Christian, but there's a little calculator thingy if you use Sudoku Pad that tells you all the possible ways to sum to 20. And
Chris
so
has used it a couple times.
Yeah, so this sums to 20 but doesn't use a 9, so it has to be 5, 7, 8.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know what that does, but
Easy.
it seems important, probably. Oh, probably also I should use the fact that this 3, 4 looks down here and says that these aren't 2 or 4, so those are 1 and 5, and so these aren't 1 and 5, they're 2 and 4. And so these aren't 2 and 7, they're 1 and 8, and these aren't 1 and 8, they're 2 and 7. By continuing
a lot of parity here.
Sudoku. Oh, now where does 9 go in column 3? 9 in column 3 now only goes there. Yep. And I bet the same thing is true over here. 7. It is, yes. So these are now sums to 5.
2, 3.
So they're 2, 3, or 1, 4. That can't be a 9, so that can't be an 8, and that can't be a 4 anymore because of that. And likewise, this can't be a 9, so that can't be a 5. Or a 4, actually, in this case, because if this were a 4, the sum would be 10. Which is too many. Oh, this can't be a 1 either because there's a 1, 8 in the box. Oh, where is 8 in column 4 is a good question. Because we've got a 1, 8 pair here and a 5, 7, 8 triple here. So the only place for 8 in the column is there, which is slowly beating this arrow to death. So, because this can no longer be 7.
Do the same
no longer
sort of
3.
Thing no, you can't.
Oh, this digit's just known. What is it? It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, I'm sorry.
6,
7.
It's a 7. Yes, it is a 7. Okay. So we've got that. Let's see. Oh, there's a digit here as well. People are pointing out. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6. No, it's not a 6. 6, 7. It's an 8.
8.
Apparently. So we've got that.
Oh, yeah. Are we doing betting?
Not for 1-star puzzles, I think.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
It's too easy.
uh,
Um,
let's see. 8 in this box only goes in one of these 2 cells, I suppose. But that is not super enlightening. Uh, row 4, column 1 is right. This 2-7 pair resolves that that's a 1. I agree
nice.
with that. So there's definitely a 6 in these 2 cells because it's either 6 is 5 plus 1 or 7 is 6 plus 1. For whatever that is worth. I can't imagine what it is doing.
How did you get the 8 in box 2? And can we do the same thing in box 6? I don't quite remember how we got that 8.
I'm not sure. I do see that people have pointed out that this 12 cage doesn't have 1 and 2 in it, which is very good. So there's a 1-2 pair vertically and horizontally. And so the absolute minimum the 12 cage can be is 3, 4, 5, and so it is.
Okay.
And so by this 3, 4 here, there's a 5 in one of these 2 cells. And by this 3, 5 here, there's a 4 in one of these 2 cells. Sorry, there is a 4 in one of these 2 cells. So that's not a 4 and that's not a 5. Making that an actual 3, 4 pair. And making that 3, 5, making that 5 look over there, making that a 6 and a 7. Which places the 7 down here, seemingly. And now that 8, 9 looks up and eliminates 8 there, placing an 8 there.
Then we know where the 8 is in box 3.
In
right
box 3.
Has
Yes,
to
we
be.
sure do.
Yeah.
So that is maybe the equivalent of the move that we were looking for before. This can no longer be a 3 because these digits are both even, so this needs to be even. So it's either 2, 4, 6 or 2, 6, 8. So there's definitely a 6 in one of those 2 cells, although again, I don't think that does anything. Let's see. Oh, this digit is a 9 just by Sudoku. 9 just swooshes into there. So this can't be a 4 anymore because 4 would require a 5 here, and 5 is in the triple.
You can't put a 5 there.
Yep, so that's a 4, which makes that a 3 and that a 4. Makes that a 6 and that an 8. Oh, right, we don't have a deadly pattern because of the arrow. So this is either a 4 or a 6. I don't know which yet. Do that. This is a pair, nicely enough.
Box.
It's not.
Go
1,
down to box 7
2,
real quick.
3, or 5. These are a 7, 9 pair.
Hooray. Box 7. Resolve the 9 and the 8.
Yes, that seems like a good idea. Thank you. There's
For what it's worth,
7 in one of these 2 cells, but I don't see anything to do with it. This column only has a triple left if I write it in. Because these can't be 1 or 2 or 3
8,
or
9,
5.
and 7?
Yep, so that is in fact a 7. Heyo. So these are an 8, 9 pair. Let's see. 5 in column 9, Renban points out, is placed because you can't put it in a box with these 3, 5
there's
pairs.
2, 3, 5 pairs. Yep. Okay.
So that is a 5. And in fact, the 3, 5 pairs also place a 3 in here, which means this is a 2, 3. Which now mean that's a 2 just by Sudokuing up into this box, which now means this is a 1, 4. Which now means that's a 1 by Sudokuing into that box. That was a very clever sort of back and forth there.
Yeah.
5. So that is a 6
place that.
there. 2. Let's see. That's a 3 just by asking where 3 goes in this row, and that's a something.
5.
Excellent. And so that must be the other 1, 2, and it's not a 1.
So it's a 2 and a 1.
Yep. Oh, I guess I could have also resolved that because of the 1, 4 pair there. Likewise, the 2, 3 pair here, I'll actually notice it this time. does
That
resolve
defines
that.
box 7, by the way. So 4
Yep.
and 2.
4 and 2 go into the grid. Let's see. Shall we mark these 2 cells and see if any magic happens? No magic yet.
I don't
The
know.
magic
It's
is yet to
9
come.
and 5. No,
Uh,
sorry, it's a 7
what
9
about
pair.
over
That's fine.
here?
6.
These are
3 4 pair right there.
So now where's 3 go in this row? 3 is now placed in this row by what we call a Zack Wing, just by those 3s there.
Yeah.
Those
will come up on the New York Times ones a lot.
Yep. Let's see. What about down here? We've got a triple that does not involve a 3 or a 5, and so that is a 4 and a 7 and a 1. And that has resolved the 5 and the 1 over here. So let us mark, that and unclick the highlighty button. Yay! Naked 5 and 3, and that's got to be a 1, 4, or 6, I suppose. 6. One of those. What are these?
Got to be 1. It has to be 1. It's a naked 1. Say it 6 times, like it's more true each time, but yeah, that's 1.
Let's see. So it's not 4 or 6.
I guess it's not a naked 1. Well, it has to be 1 because you have 1 in row 4 and then 1 in row 6.
Oh, right. Sorry.
4, 5, right?
It's the right. It's the hidden one. Is the because this is the only place for 1 in the box. Yep. So that is a 1, 4, 1, 6, 8, 1. 7, 5, 8, 2, 7, 9.
You got
9, 6.
Yep, that's 9,
5, 7.
That resolves box 8, by the way.
4, 9. Probably resolves what's going on here, give or take.
2,
2, 3, 2, or second 5. Take your pick. 6, 4, 5, 3, 5, 3, 6, 4, 3, 7. Very nice.
Naked 1, hidden 1, Tris. They're all the same thing. It's 1.
Very nice puzzle, Doomdiat. I saw a 2-star Doomdiat puzzle in the bucket as well. Do you want to attempt the 2-star Doomdiat puzzle?
Sure.
Let's see. Where did it go?
What could go
Chat
wrong?
gets to watch me scroll through this whole list again and try and find the puzzle that I saw earlier.
I saw that slide.
Because I don't think there's anything else I can do other than scroll. Scroll. I'll find it. It's in here somewhere. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, we'll go.
Tim, I'm just that sort of madman. Going from 1 to 2 stars. Watch out. Here we go.
There we go. Okay, so now we have a 2-star.
I've spoken too fast.
So we've got all things that we have encountered so far. Black dots meaning one's double the other. Renban meaning we've got that string of consecutive digits in any order. And white dot means they're consecutive. So funnily enough, a white dot is the same as a purple line between the 2 cells, if you wanted. If you just want to imagine that was that. It means exactly the same thing. But I think we've seen all of these today. So that is a plus. I'm inclined to start with these.
I saw the same thing. Because what? They've got to be consecutive but double?
They've got to. So the line has to be a string of consecutive digits, and so the thing it can't be is it can't be 4, 8. Because if this were 4, 8, I would need to put the 5, 6, and 7 that connect them in these 2 cells, and that's too few cells. So if I just sort of fill in the fact that these can't be 8, then we've got 1, 2, 4, and 3, 6 as possibilities.
And you can't double them because they're on the same column, so that makes sense.
And so one of these is
then you have
3,
what,
6.
1, 2, and 3, 6?
1, 2, or 2, 4. I'm not sure whether it's 1, 2, or 2, 4. But I do know one of them for sure is 3, 6. So there's definitely a 2, a 3, and a 6 in these cells. And whichever of them is 3, 6, this pair is a 4, 5.
That makes sense.
So
what would the other pair be then? Can you see that?
So yeah,
Oh yeah, Martin just said the same
and
thing.
the
So you're on
4
the
will
line.
be here. Now, Paulfly has a really smart point, which is that the one of these that is 3-6 has a 4-5. The other one has a 1-2, has a 1-2 or a 2-4. The highest the 2-4 could get is 2-3-4-5. So in other words, the 7, 8, and 9 in this column can only go here. So this is actually
Oh,
establishing a 7, 8, 9 hidden triple in the column, which is
makes
beautiful
sense.
because now we can resolve this white dot. Because
Oh,
if
'cause
this is anything other than 7, then the only digits that are consecutive with it already appear in the box.
the white dot is 6. Okay,
So,
makes
so
sense.
yeah, it's 7 with a 6, exactly. And we can bring out Zach for the 7 dance.
The 7 dance. Woo. I won't throw him on the ground this time. Probably.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Uh, so, so we have that. So now, anytime there's a 6 looking at a black dot, I immediately want to fill in that I know that it's 1, 2, 4, 8, just because that is how that
It can't be
works.
influenced.
And now these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now that requires a 3. Hey, Good City, I hope you're doing well. Because if there was no 3
Okay.
here, and so anytime you're looking at black dots, you should think of black dots as being in two universes, ones that are 3-6 and ones that aren't 3-6. And so this one can't be 3-6 anymore.
So it's 1, 2, 4, 8
Because
again.
yeah, so this is also 1, 2, 4, 8. And that's because this digit sees 6 directly and 3 indirectly.
Yeah.
So this is 1, 2, 4, 8. And of course that side's not an 8 because there's an 8-9 pair in the box.
All right. Makes sense.
So we've got all of that going on. So remember that. So let's fill in what these cells can be, given that we know that one of these is 3-6. Let me just make these cells green. One of these is 3-6, and one of them is 1 with a 2 or a 4. So that makes these cells possibly
2,
1,
4, 5.
but not 2,
Or,
3.
sorry.
Could be 4, 5, and not 6, 7, 8, or 9. So these are from 1, 4, 5. And now we've already said that the one that's a 3 and a 6, these are a 4, 5 pair. Oh, and the one that's a 3 and a 6, these are a 4, 5 pair. But the 4 goes there, so one of these is the 5 for that one. And so I can go ahead and actually, if I want, I can yellow in one of these is a 4. And so one of these is a 5, and the other is the 1, 4. And so Tristan has a smart spot that we actually know what the other digit is, because the other one is either, remember the dot is either 1, 2 or 2, 4. But in all cases, that Renban needs a 3 because you're starting below 3 and going up by 4. But the 3 can't be in this column because the other Renban has stolen the 3 for this column. So these are actually a 3, 4 pair in yellow. Which makes these a 2, 8, and a 6 in some combination. Which has now done something really cool that I did not anticipate. One of these is a 6 because one of these is a 3, right?
Yep.
Now nowhere on this Renban can there be a 6 because I've got a 6 looking westward and a 6 in this column. And so if I can't use a 6, I can't use a 7, 8, or 9 either. So these are in fact just from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so they need a 2, a 3, and a 4 just in order to exist at all.
Yeah. Those cardinal 6s.
And this one's not a 3 or a 4 because there's a 3 and a 4 in the column. So this one's 1, 2, or 5. let's see. Okay, so we've got that. And so now the 8 and the 9 in this row are getting quite restricted because now the 9 can only go in one of two places, and the 8 can only go in one of those two places or here.
Plus one of those places.
Yeah. But in all instances, this is 8 or 9, because if this digit is not 8 or 9, then I have to put the 8 here and the 9 here, and that doesn't work. So that breaks in a sort of funny way, where if I put the 8 here and the 9 here, now my 9 wants an 8 and doesn't have one.
That makes sense.
And oops, as they say.
And you can't do the other way, right? Oh no, you can't even put a 9 there. Never.
Yeah, you can't put a 9 on a black dot at all, because unfortunately neither 18 nor 4.5 are valid Sudoku digits today.
Lame.
I know, right?
Just wait until your next challenge.
Okay. Yeah, just wait until so box 2, I am being told resolves everything. Because this can't be a 4-8. Because if this is 4-8, what digits do I have left? I've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 left as my digits. And none of those can make a length 4 Renban.
That's fair.
So in fact, this can't be the 4-8. Oh.
It has to be.
Oh, but this could be a 4-2. I don't know that one of these is 8. But I know this one sure isn't 8. Does 3-6 have the same problem? 3-6 does have the same problem. If it's 3-6, then we've got 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7, 8, 9, none of which are far enough apart. So same actual problem happens there. And so if we believe that, then we know what this is, because it can't be 1, 2, can't be 4, 5, so this is 7, 8, 9 as well. Continuing our theme of finding 7, 8, 9s in the puzzle. Okay, and that 4, remember, went with a 5 and a 3, 6 up here. And this 3 goes with a 1, 2, 4 over here in some capacity. These two cells don't have a lot of digits they can be, because they see 1, 2, 4, and 7, 8, 9 just straight up. And I certainly can't put
be like
3 here. This is a white dot even. So I think these can only be 5, 6, actually.
Okay.
And in fact, that one's the 5 and that one's the 6. And this digit can only be an 8 because the 1, 2, 4 there. So that's a 4.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay, so we've got our
1, 2, 3.
4 has been cut off of this Renban, which also cuts off 5. So yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, and that's the 5. So we've got that. Let's see. Okay, so these aren't 2 anymore, apparently. Oh yeah, because of that 2. So one of these in the row is 2. So that one, this is maybe the minorest of deductions. That's not 2. Probably not the thing I'm supposed to be looking at. Oh, but this black dot actually is very relevant, because it doesn't have 2 on it either, because of the 2 looking that way. So
it's not 1.
So it is 4-8, which has made this a 9. So we've got that, and these aren't 4 anymore. So in fact, my Renban needed a 2 and a 4. Oh no, sorry. The 4 is now vertical, not horizontal. Sorry. I was going to say something. I got excited, but I was wrong. These aren't 2. That's not 5. That's not 4. Okay.
What's the last one to put on that Renban? The lonely Renban on the left. We can place that.
This one?
It's...
So
no, but we can mark it.
Yeah, so this is either 1, 2, 3 or 5, 6, 7.
Well, no, I mean, no, specifically the 5, 1 on that Renban. Is what I mean. That's the most constrained. And so if we can place that, it might be even better to find.
The 5, 1? On
row 5, column 1.
Oh, just like what
it
can
can't
this
be 6, can't be 7, it can't be 9.
Yeah, this can't be 8. It can't be 4. Yeah, so this
It's
is
a
either
one,
a
two, three,
5 with a
one.
6, 7, or it can be a 1, 2,
One,
3.
two,
And then I
three.
think this can be any of those.
At the
Uh,
moment.
oh,
Or,
Selena pointing out actually, we've actually placed the 4 on this Renban if we paid closer
oh,
attention
look, yeah,
because
there you go.
all of those got eliminated. So in fact, that's
Can't
the
be.
4. So there's a 4 in one of these
It's
two
not going to
cells.
be. Can it be one still? Yeah, it can still be one. Okay, never mind.
So these digits, by the way, are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so they definitely contain a 6, 7, and an 8, I guess, in order to make that
That
work.
makes sense.
Uh, let's see. So there's a 1 over here somewhere, and a 3.
Yeah.
The 3 isn't there. Uh, oh yeah, maybe we should look at row 9. That's a good idea because this can't be 3, 6 anymore because there's a 6 in the row. So this has to be from 1, 2, 4, 8, but the 8 is gone as well. So this is from 1, 2, 4, but that means it definitely contains a 2, which means that's the 2 for this Renban.
Okay.
And this over here is just a 3, which then sorts
That
out
defines
your
that.
Renban from before because now this is a
Aha.
5 with a 6 and a 7. So these are not 5. Yep. Let's see. Trying to see here if there's something that this means. Let's see. I can fill in these digits, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are the options here. Well, those are very suspicious. Can this possibly be a 9? Slash, does it have to be a 9? Let's see. 8, 7, 6. Interesting. I think this can just get away with being an 8, 7, 6 if that's an 8 and that's a 4. But not. It's very touch and go if that's ever going to work. Let's see. Do I want to think about this? Don't know. Let's see. I know there's a 2 in one of these cells because that's not a 2. So there is a 2 in one of
You've
these
got two
cells, and it's
there
not
somewhere.
that one. So
if that's a 2, then 1, 8 has to be 1 or 3, right?
then 1, 8. Yeah, then this, and it would have to be 1 because there's a 3 in the box already.
Mm-hmm. Does
Uh,
that bring anything?
uh,
Doesn't look like it.
let's see.
P3, 6.
So this is certainly from 1, 2, 4, 8. I should mark just because I've got a 3, 6 looking at it.
Okay.
Let's see. It's being claimed this can't be a 9. Don't quite see why yet. Oh, 2 is just placed in this box. Let's do the easy thing.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So that's
It's
a
just
2,
right
which
there.
means that's a 4, which means that's a 2. And this is now definitely not a 9 because there's a 4 on it. So let's see. So these are a 1 and a 5, I believe.
Yeah. Those are the only things missing from the box.
Okay, no 2 goes there. One of these is still a 3, and then the other is a 1 or a 5. Let's see. 2, 2, 2 is up there. I guess I don't really need this coloring anymore, do I?
I'm going to blame the coloring as to why I didn't see that.
There you go. That is a well respected strategy for Sudoku streamers. Let's see. Ah, yes, 1 is too far away. In fact, actually, the
Oh,
fact that this is
makes
neither a
sense.
2 nor a 3 is very interesting because this can't be a 2 or a 3.
So it's got to be a 5 and
So
a
that
4.
can't be a 2.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a 3. And this, as you say, exactly has to be a 5 because I can't go
That
down. I have
works.
to go up. So no 3 there or there or there as we get. And that one's not a
129,
3 anymore. So
129.
that one is the 3 now. And that has become a 1 and a 2 and a 3 over there. No 2 over there has happened. Let's see.
Is that a 1, 2, 4, 8?
Ah, the 9-8 situation doesn't actually work, uh, but for a sort of complicated reason, which is that if this is 9, we said this has to be 8, because what else is it going to be? But then the things that go between, not between 9 and 8, but the other things would be 6 and 7. But the problem is this column has a 6-7 pair.
That can't be
So
either
this
of them.
can't
Makes
actually
sense.
be 9. The 9 is a lie, as they say. Uh,
Okay. Does that mean that can't be 8 either on the
yes, it
Renban?
definitely means that can't be 8 because now 1 and 2 and 8
Okay.
are much, much, much too far apart.
Yes. I'm
So
figuring out
yeah,
Renban
so
too.
we've got. So this has a 1 or a 2 on it. So these digits are so it definitely has a 3 on it, and the 3 is only able to go here. Because even if I start below 3 and I go up by 4, I always cross the 3, right? Uh,
Yeah,
so there's always a 3, and the 3 has to go there.
makes sense.
And there's no 5 on it. So just by a Sudoku, there's no place to put a
So
5. So this
it's
is the
got to
other
be
of 1,
1.
2, and 4. So these are an
Oh, yeah.
honest
Okay.
1, 2, 4 triple. And that honest
Interesting.
1, 2, 4 triple all look at that cell, making that
So it's
cell
got
an
to be 8.
8. Yep. I love unorthodox triples like that, where it's a triple that all see a cell, but for a really weird reason. So 4 goes there, giving me the 8 and the 4 down there. We said this Renban needed to have an 8, so it goes there.
Well,
Uh, these are
1, 2. That
no
gives us a 4.
2. There's no 8 up there.
Box 9 when you have a second.
Box 9, yes.
Gives us a 4. No, on the Renban.
On the Renban. Oh,
You have
yes,
a
that
1, 2
1, 2.
pair.
You're right. Yes, absolutely. That is the 4 and the 1. Uh, no 8 goes there. Well, Mark, tell me what these 3 digits are. Yes, these are a 3, 7, and 9,
That's
and that
a
was the
naked 3.
3. I will take a naked 3. Thank you. Maybe this will be a naked
It's
digit.
nudie.
It's not
No.
7. I can at least go that far. Oh, in fact, there's a 7, 9 pair in the row, so it just is 4.
Just 4. Sort of.
So it was as far as amounts of work I've had to do for digits, it wasn't that bad. Those 8s place an 8 down there.
Makes sense.
This is just a triple up here, so let's figure out what it is. Does
1,
not
9.
involve a 6 or a 7, so it's 1, 2, and 9 up here, and one of those is the 9.
What? How does that make sense?
Uh,
Because there's already a 1, 2. I got confused. Never mind.
okay, let's.
The 1, 2 pair on the Renban is not in the box.
Yes, that is correct. So these are not 1 or 2 or 9. So indeed,
so that's 5 in the middle.
The correct question was where is the 5 in the box? That would have we'd have looked more like pros if we did that. But now there's a 5 up here, and so this has to be 5, 6, 7, 8 now. There can't be a 9 on it anymore because they're too far apart. That 5, 6, 7. Oh, I guess it's not been that long, but for a little bit, it has looked at this 3, 6 over here.
Oh.
Since we placed that 8, it has looked over
I
there.
saw the 4.
Oops.
In box 9. I was doing some work.
7, 6, like that. Okay, so now what are these? Presumably 1, 2, because I'm not putting a 9 on this white dot. It would go with an 8. So the 9 goes there. These are a 1, 2, but the 2 we know the order.
Yeah.
And so that has resolved
that just fills out box 1.
all of that stuff. 7, 1, 2, 8 and 9, 9 and 7. And now we can probably mark the rest of the
Okay,
grid
okay,
and
okay.
hope good things happen.
Wow.
4987, 139, 51, 789, 69, 676, 5187, 675. We went up a
We
star
did
and it
it.
took twice as long. Uh, uh, but very nice. I liked that one a lot too.
Yeah.
That was also very smooth.
I don't know if I could have done this one by myself. At least not in 20 something minutes.
Yeah, probably would have taken longer. Yeah.
Eh.
Alrighty. But I think probably this is a good place to wrap up stream for the day before we destroy poor Christian. But thank you, everyone, for joining in. We'll be back to doing puzzles from the bucket next stream. By the way, apologies. Lakia noticed or asked like an hour and a half ago if our stream schedule is going to be different for the holidays, and I made a note to answer that question once I was done saying the thing uh, that. That I was saying, but then, as so often happened, I completely forgot. So apologies. I don't know is the short answer. We'll keep you updated on the schedule, but currently the plan is that the next stream will be on Friday, I think. But we'll keep you up to date. So pay attention to the Discord, and we'll get things scheduled. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for everyone who supports the channel. Do please thumb up the channel if you have not, or thumbed up the video, the stream if you have not yet. YouTube things, thumbs, comments, likes, etc. And a big thank you to everyone who supports the stream financially. If you want to become a member, you can do that by clicking the join button down below for as little as $5 a month. It gets you the Zach emotes, which are delightful, and Zach likes to see them, of course. He's a little vain, but don't tell him I said that.
Couldn't be me.
It is greatly appreciated. So thank you, everyone. At higher levels, you get to do things like vote on what puzzle we're going to start next stream with. So we'll find out what has been voted for, because every time there's a challenge, the bucket sort of swells while we do challenge puzzles, and then who knows what will have the most votes. It will probably be that Cypher Ubon puzzle. That is going to be my guess if I were to if I were a betting Zeta. Anyway, thank you so much. And big thank you to the super supporters at the top level: David, Nordy, Franco, Daniel, Danita, Nell, and Plunktime. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you for the donations today, Paul Fly and David. Thank you so much. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. You can see Christian waving. He's adorable. See you all next time.